only female detective right now. So now I'm getting like the sexual assault cases and stuff again. So, but I create like, a lot of safety trainings, like bank safety trainings, like personal safety, self-defense, like public speaking events. So if somebody wants a police officer to come talk about what we do, I go and do that. So, but Donnie was cute. So we decided to do this thing. Cause we've been inundated with like all these frauds and shit like that. So we put together like this pamphlet to mail out to every resident and business, just kind of saying like, here's what all the frauds are and here's how to report them and stuff like that. So I do an interview Friday with the Herald, with like the newspaper. And so then my mom just texts me. She's like, I got your pamphlet because they put my fucking picture on it. So like, they're like, contact her if you have questions. And I'm like, oh my God. So it was fun. But Donnie sends me like a little picture today. He's like, I just delivered these. And he had one left over. So I opened it and I forgot that I was going to get one because I'm a resident where I live. So it's pretty cool. So I can do fun stuff like that. But then when shit hits the fan, like I go back to crime scenes and stuff. So I've been there a long time. So I'm going on 19 years and
we're live, by the way.
Yeah, so I'm going on. All right, yes, thank you. I don't want to disclose anything inappropriate.
So what you're saying essentially is you're one of the baddest chicks in New Hampshire.
Yes.
So what's your status? I'll be the baddest.
Welcome to Adulting with Donnie. I am joined tonight by two of my favorites. I have my mate, Ro, fan favorite. Everyone loves when Ro joins me on the show.
OnlyFans. I'm thinking about it.
And yeah, I definitely want to talk about OnlyFans, even though I haven't seen the documentary yet.
It's good.
But and then I'm joined by Tom from the What's the Difference podcast on the USUK network.
Yay!
Crikey. What's going on, guys?
Loving the hat.
Thank you. Okay, so funny story. This hat was called Gay. By my wife and coworker. Yeah, totally. I was not down with this. I don't know what about this hat screams I suck cock, but I don't. Even though if I did, I'd be very proud about it. In fact,
we still love you anyway.
Thank
you. Can make a lot of money on
thank you.
OnlyFans. Yeah,
I really could. I mean, I really could.
You can win an award for that. You can win an award for oral performer. This lady was just talking about on that.
All right, we'll get to OnlyFans.
yeah. Fucking trust me. So essentially, like, I don't think it screams that at all. I think it screams that I'm an older guy who wants to like keep the sun from burning my neck, and I'm a dad at the same time. And I don't know what point I transitioned from being like young hip dude to I want to wear like New Balances and fucking rock.
They're comfortable.
But exactly comfort, dude. Like I was talking about it earlier on a different show, like because I was talking to Keith McCleary and I was like, when did you stop buying shoes for looks and start buying them for comfort? He's like, bro, I still buy shoes for looks. What are you, stupid? I'm like, well, I like a nice arch support and it's kind of important because I'm on my feet all day. So I wear like Skechers now and I don't care what they look like.
They have the best. I was just telling Donnie that they're the best kept secret with the memory foam because Converse
yes.
They do. They're like the best kept secret.
My wife that is clearly smarter than I am, and she points out the proper things. Like I'm looking at a pair of Pumas, and she's like, "Tom, look, you're complaining about how bad your feet hurt, and here's some memory foam." I was like, "They look stupid. I don't know." And I put them on. It feels like there's a cloud on my foot. Like if there was a way to emphasize an orgasm in your what is that? Your foot? I guess I was trying to be more technical, but that was what Skechers would be essentially. Is the O face of shoes.
It's the orthopedic orgasm.
Yes.
I feel you.
Know what I did for the first time last week ever was come. so yes, come.
Again, wouldn't be here. Okay.
Tantric. Donnie's tantric. He doesn't come every time. He holds back. So then when he finally does, it's like a geyser effect.
How do you know my secrets?
I wrote your book, Donnie.
So a week from Monday, we're gonna take back up walking and actually running. So back in October, we did Sober October, and we were walking every Monday through Friday, and we really liked it. But then the cold weather hit, and it sucked. And so I said in April we'll pick it back up. So, and I said that I want to run, like I want to jog, I don't want to fucking go and be a Usain Bolt, but I do want to, jog a little bit. So, for the first time ever, I went to this place. There's a store in Portsmouth, New Hampshire called, Runner's Alley. So I went there and they checked my gait and then they like fitted me for shoes. So then I bought shoes that are like supposed to be actually designed for my arc or whatever. So
okay. I thought for sure that was like some sort of running term for your butthole was the gate. Like,
they
listen, you don't
checked,
want
that's a
you don't
different term, but they also checked that.
GAIT.
it's like
GAIT.
it's like a full service thing. Like, you remember when gas stations used to like check your fluids and stuff? They're like that.
Yeah,
But
right.
it shows
Yeah,
like
totally.
you're about a
Yeah.
quart low, Donnie.
Yeah, it's a
I
lot
think you
like
should
that.
get your gate fixed. Fucking A.
Hi, Auntie
Um,
Joe. Sorry, I have to yell to people and say hi to our fans. Hi, Tammy.
Hi, Tammy. Nice to see you. I'm not Roro. I'm someone else. But
See what I mean? Like everyone, whenever I have her on, like my comments blow up because everyone's like, "Oh, Rochelle's on tonight."
I have to show Eagle Fan Karate.
Do you, so as a detective, by the way, that's awesome because I read this book called The Dresden Files. It's a really cool urban fantasy book series, and there's actually a female detective who's the most badass character in the series. Like, she's a very short stature little girl, but she knows Aikido, and like nobody fucks with her, and she had to work her way up because everybody underestimated the fact she was a short little blonde cheerleader looking girl, but she's like this badass in the story. She's so fucking cool. So when you tell me things like you're one of the only female officers and female detective at that, fucking, it really makes me like, man, dude, fucking, I like Ro a lot just for the fact of how much you must have worked hard to accomplish where she is now. That tells me a lot about you.
Well, I started working in military prison when I was 19. So I worked death row when I was 19. So that was a little different.
Shit.
Yeah. So I go way back. And I still have more better stories from that than, being a police officer. But no, it's like now I get to hug people all the time. So I'm like the officer semi-friendly. There used to be an officer friendly who was super famous and, and he still is. And so they're like, you're the new officer friendly. I'm like, I'm officer semi-friendly. Like, I might hug you today and arrest you tomorrow. Or vice versa, but we're gonna get there. Like, it's fine. But yeah,
do you guys play a good cop, bad post office man? Like, you'll show up and be like, "Hey,
saw a crime today and reported."
Oh yeah,
it.
I did. I saw what's called a rolling domestic. It was cool. It was I was delivering mail, and so this is what happened. I'm delivering mail today, and I go to pull up to a mailbox, and I have to do a U-turn. And as I do a U-turn, there's a car with like a guy driving and a girl in the passenger seat, and she is screaming. She's like screaming bloody murder when I pull up, and she looked right at me and said, "Call the cops." And then there was a backpack sitting on the ground outside of the car, and the two take off. The guy drives off. So I do another U-turn, and I'm like, "What the fuck is going on?"
You left out the backpack.
I did. I did.
I got you.
I forgot about the backpack when I was retelling the story.
It sounds
to you.
very like a huge piece.
So this backpack is left on the ground, and I follow them, and they go behind a vacant building, and then this guy does a U-turn himself. So, once he sees me following him, he does a U-turn. So as he comes back towards me, I like grab his plate and memorize it, and then I do another U-turn, and I'm like, I'm gonna follow him. I'm gonna call 911, and I'm gonna follow him while I do, and he stops, picks up the backpack, and takes off again. And then, now he knows that I'm following him, so he hammers down and he takes off. Like, I'm not doing a pursuit in a fucking USPS toaster oven truck. So
I feel bad. I'm like, he was at the mall. I'm like, where's mall security when you need him?
I know.
Like,
I was at the mall.
Where's your yellow lights? Where are you guys?
Like, I need to be lighter. Speed up more. Fuck, this thing only has 4 gears.
So I'm on the phone with 911, and they call, they transfer me to the local police, and local police passes it on to state police, and state police passes it on to the town it happened in, because I was like right on the line. I was right on the line of Portsmouth and Newington.
There's literally a
so
line. They
passed it on to Newington, and then Newington PD calls me, and they're like, "Hey, do you mind coming in and giving a statement?" And the officer that was on the phone goes, I ran this guy, the license plate that you gave us. I ran this guy, and he's kind of a dirtbag. And I was like, literally, if you asked me to describe him, I would have said, imagine a scumbag. He was like, first of all, he was white. So there's that.
Oh, horrible. Arrest that man.
Half of me is offended right now, I would like to say.
He was probably like 35 years old and maybe weighed 130 pounds. He looked like he's been trying to grow a beard for probably 10 years and just, he can't. Like, It's like that. Like why do scumbag white guys always have like that scraggly? They can't grow a beard at all. Like, and I'm not talking about your beard or my beard. I'm talking about like it's like
pockety.
There's
like pieces.
There's
missing.
like a couple centimeters of hair, and it's not, and it's like she just said, it's like it's patchy. You know, there's some here, there's some over here. Like just that he looked like a dirtbag. But to be fair, the girl in the passenger seat, not much better. She
dirtbag is what she
and
was.
And that was confirmed when the police department called me back, and they were like, never mind, we don't need a statement. They made contact with the couple and said that they're very familiar with them. So
I've done that before. Like I don't like doing it per se because, you know, I'm like a live and let live kind of guy, right? But if I see something that's dangerous, if I see something that could potentially kill somebody, I feel like it's like my job as a citizen of where I live to, you know, report people if I have to. And it rarely ever happens. But I was behind this car with my kids, and this is where like I especially didn't like it because my kids were in the car. But I was driving behind them, and like the car is just swerving really fucking bad. And that could be one of a couple things, right? It could either be an elderly person that's driving and they just can't see the road. It could be somebody fucked up. It could be someone that's
somebody on their
sleepy.
phone.
It could be many of things, but whatever it is, you're watching this person do this, and you're like, wow, dude, you're really going to get in a horrible accident pretty soon. And so I felt it was my job to kind of like fall behind and make sure, one, they didn't get in an accident, two, let the cops know that this potentially dangerous person is on the road and you might want to stop them and make sure everything's okay. So that's what I generally do. And the cops asked me like, are you still in pursuit? I was like, no. I'm like, I'm getting
not in pursuit. I have no lights or sirens. No, I'm not.
I am backing off because this guy just sped the fuck up and I got my kids in the truck. I don't feel this is my job any longer. I'm going to let you guys do your job. I'm going to salute you for doing so. I'm like, well, if we need to contact you, I was like, yeah, of course. You know, here's my cell phone. But I thank you for doing that, man, because you really did make it.
You know, when I first pulled up and she was like, call the cops, I actually was like, I was just going to ignore it. I was just thinking like, whatever, just, you know, don't get involved. It's not my fucking problem. And then I was like, you know, you hear all those things like see something, say something. And then I thought, like, what if there is something? You know, what if 5 minutes from now I hear about this woman getting thrown out of the car at 70 on the highway? And I'm like, I maybe could have done something about that. So,
or you come home and you try and tell me the story, and I'm like, you didn't say anything. Well, in all honesty, we just had a daylight murder in York Beach, Maine. Are you familiar with York?
Yeah.
At all? It's like, Beach. Yeah. In York, and it was a couple from Massachusetts. Like, they don't know a lot of the information. I'm speaking of what I read in the paper, but it was like they're both in their 30s, and the guy beat her to death somehow. You know, in the middle, and that just happened. Like, I think either yesterday or today. It was in the paper today. So it's like, well, you know, it could happen. So, but then it's like that's always a question about. You know, your instinct is like, I don't want to get involved. But then it's like,
that was my instinct.
But it's like, what if I don't? So I always tell people, I'm like, if you can do it safely, like, you know,
that's a good one.
But we love calls for, I love it as a police officer. I love calls for service because I feel like, you know, it's somebody calling and asking us for help, asking us to look into something. It's not us going and digging and, you know, we're not being discriminatory or profiling. It's like somebody's asking us to help them. It's like call for service. So like that. But I did a thing today that I'm not proud of.
Something. Did you tell me about that?
No, it's something that I haven't done since I was 5 years old, and we kind of talked about it. And then you were like, why don't you just go get a haircut? So when I was 5 years old, I was in the top bunk, and it was like my sister was sleeping in the bottom bunk, and somehow I snuck scissors up there. And I cut my fucking hair in the dark. And I have like African hair. So sometimes like right now it's curly, but I can also straighten it and make it straight like white girl hair, right? Like Benji with the good hair.
White girl
so I either have like Beyonce nice hair or like Lauryn Hill like kinky hair. So anyway, like so I hate some, and all my hairdresser friends are gonna beat me up for this, but or ostracize me for this. But I hate going to the hairdresser because when I was little. So anyway, but when I did that when I was 5, like I had like a little red afro. So like Kid and Play, like I don't know if you remember Kid and Play with like the box, like the little high top fade. I have this like little red high top like afro fade, right? So I was like, I'll never do that again, you know. And here we are, like I don't know, like 40, so almost 40 years later, and I'm doing the same shit. Well, because I don't do like fake nails, I don't have to do my eyebrows, I don't dye my hair, I don't like really cut my hair, but there's a layer of the back of my hair that grows longer and quicker than the rest of my hair. So I was just thinking like, so whenever I go around here, like there weren't a lot of people when I was younger that were good about doing ethnic hair. So if I went in with curly hair, like they'd wash it and they just keep fucking cutting because you get in a conversation with your hairdresser, and then the next thing you know, you're like, all I want is like the dry, like the dead ends to get cut off, and then it's like you have it come out like this or something, and I'm like, I don't want that to happen.
Yeah.
So I always like straighten it now. Let me I need my soapbox moment. So I always straighten it, and I just go in for a dry trim. So I'll be like, just cut it dry, so that way I know it's gonna come out even. But anyway. I was impatient and I went home and I was like, well, this will just be easy because it's just this. And if I told him, I go, if I fuck it up, then nobody's going to see it. And I don't know what I did, but I completely fucked it up.
Really?
Like, you can't,
tell.
but the best part is like, you can't tell when it's curly, but if I straightened it right now, it would feel like there's like little funky chops, like the Barbie doll head that you fucking cut. And it's all,
we met up around 11 o'clock this morning and she was like,
I found something I'm not good at.
She told me she's like, I think I'm going to go home and I'm going to, there's this one little bit of hair. And she showed me and I'm like, it's not even noticeable. To me, I'm thinking to myself, it's not even noticeable. That's not a big deal. But she tells me that she's going to go home and cut it herself. I was like, you don't maybe want to leave that to a professional?
Well, because it costs like $30 just to walk in and get
expensive.
A dry trim or like the hair. Maybe I'll just treat myself. But
that's why I stopped getting haircuts.
But they didn't used to know how to do ethnic hair. Like we used to get our hair straightened. Like you get this chemical relaxer. I remember the first time that we had it because we were little mixed girls in Portsmouth, New Hampshire.
I think it's called roofies.
What?
Never. The chemical relaxer. Never mind. Sorry,
so I have this Spanish fly relaxer.
Yeah.
This GHB relaxer that you just...
Yeah, there you go. Use that lingo, girl. Luckily, my wife's been cutting my hair forever. Like,
I was going to ask, does anybody else ever cut their fucking hair?
I mean, like my kid does. Yeah, I mean, not my own hair. My wife can do it to her hair. She's really good. Like, she always told me, she's like, well, if I didn't get into the dental, career, I would have ended up being like a hairdresser and stuff because she's really, really good with hair. And I'm very grateful that she cuts my hair because she knows how to cut it properly. And over years, we've developed this style and stuff. But you also validified something that she said. She'd always complain about this one section because she's very good about taking care of her hair. She brushes every day. But like, regardless of how much attention she paid to it, she'd always get like a dreadlock in the very back. So I'm glad to hear that.
Coming to America, like the Prince of the Braid, like coming to America.
Yeah, man, like 90s rat tail, like fucking all entangled into itself and whatnot. Does that happen to you, Donnie? You got luscious hair.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate that.
It's getting very Viking-esque and look, it's wavy.
A man's mane.
Yeah.
It looks like you would take down an elephant and dominate the A as
this
me
is
talking about.
Bruno, I love both of you. You always get so sexual.
This is by a long shot the longest my hair's ever been. Like I've never I've never had it this long. It's like almost it's about down to my shoulders, right?
It, yeah,
it's like down to my shoulders right now. I showed Ro a week or two ago what I want it to look like. There's a scene in the very beginning of Thor.
Yes, please.
Thor. What's the name of the fucking? The other one.
It's Endgame.
Dark World.
No, it's not that one either. The Dark something.
Dark World.
The Dark World. So there's a scene in the very beginning. About your
beard in this one.
Yeah, and there's a scene in the very beginning of the Dark World where he's fighting on that other planet against the rock people, and he has the sides of his hair all braided, and that's what he's using to tie back his hair. And his hair is like probably about 4 inches longer than shoulder length. And that's where I want it. I want to be able to braid the sides of my hair so that I can tie back all of my hair.
This is like the story that he didn't tell me about the backpack part, because when he was telling me this the other night, we were watching Endgame, and he goes, this part, when he gets his hammer, he goes, and his beard does this. And so that's what he told me. I didn't hear anything about this other hair.
No, I showed it to you when we were in Rangeley.
Oh, God.
I stopped the movie like right at that scene, and I was like, this is what I want my hair to look like.
I want to have an on-scene, like, passionate discussion. Let's go.
No, let's not.
I gotta watch.
And Tom can mediate.
I'll commentate. Actually, I'll be like, right now, this is what's going on. It's a lot like animals.
Little MMA.
I might be able to bring it up. Actually,
have you guys seen Falcon the Winter Soldier yet?
No. Mostly we're waiting. So there's 2 episodes available right now, and we are waiting for like 3 or 4 episodes to be available before we
Gotcha. So you can
We
like
finished
officially.
WandaVision.
We did finish. Did you watch
Yes.
WandaVision?
Yeah.
Fuck yes, I did. That was amazing.
Oh my god! So my sister and someone else the other night, we went out for like a double date the other night.
Yeah.
And when we went out, this other couple said the same thing my sister did last night, which was I watched, the first episode and got 10 minutes into it, and I hated it. I couldn't stand it. And I was like, you have to get through at least episode 2, maybe episode 3, and then it gets really good.
See, I didn't think that though, because I loved it from the second one. I grew up with a little thing called Nick at Night. Nick at Night.
Oh yeah, I was telling him.
never-
So every scene, Tom, I was like, "Is this? This is gonna be Donna? Is this like
Yes,
Leave
that's
It
right.
to Beaver? Is this like
Yes,
every? I
this
was
is
like you.
Bewitched. And I was also at the same exact point in time, I was also a 90s kid that watched like Malcolm in the Middle, and I love Modern Family. So I recognized every segment.
Family
of
Ties.
it.
I'm like, this is Family Ties right now.
It was fucking brilliant. So Alex, my partner over at What's the Difference podcast, he didn't really dig it at much, but then he, like everybody else, he fell in love. Episode 2, bam, down. But from episode 1, I was like, yes, this is it. I hear an echo.
He's looking up stuff, and
I found it,
and I get to see his porn roulette as he's looking up stuff. I'm like, oh, what's this?
That's what I want my hair to look like.
Okay,
love it. I had
I'm learning things.
I had long hair when I was in high school.
Did you really?
I watched Dazed and Confused, and
okay.
I wanted to culturally appropriate America's like the way they lived in the 70s. So I said, man, a lot. I listened to like the Who, and got a really good taste in music. That's the one like main thing I gained from a really cool taste in music. And in fact, like I didn't even know that this was like subliminally being put into me as a kid. Remember when tapes were a hot thing before CDs? Obviously,
of course.
Memorex always sticks out. Mixtape.
So the first cassette I ever got, my mom got for me, and it was Dazed and Confused soundtrack, which has the greatest fucking soundtrack of all time, by the way. I mean, Leonard Skinner, fucking there's so much on there that a young man like myself grew to love. And so I wanted to live in the 70s. So I grew up my hair shoulder length. It was fucking badass, but it was also, not to bring down the room, that was also the same year and a half later I found out that I had fucking cancer. And I had to, I had to go through chemotherapy and radiation. And like, I was sitting, like stroking my fucking sweet ass hair one day, and all of a sudden a little patch came out. And I was like, yep, time to shave this bitch.
Yeah.
So I haven't grown it back.
Question.
Yes.
Bro.
I always hated I always hated long hair, because when I would grow it out, like now it's good. So, but there's an in-between time where it started. So I shaved my head completely in June 2019. And then I never got another haircut. So it's been growing out for almost 2 years now. Yeah. And right in that first like 7 or 8 month mark, when it's only about 4 or 5, not even, maybe 2 or 3 inches long, it starts like, it doesn't go back. It just like froze out. And I hated it. I hated it. So
first world white man problems.
Yeah, I didn't like it. So every time that I've been like, I'm going to grow my hair out.
I'm next.
Every time that every time I'm like, I'm going to grow my hair out, it gets to that point, and I'm like, I'm shaving this. I can't stand it. And so now it's at a length that I'm like, I like this. It's not bad.
You get to ponytail it. So first thing I was going to say, Tom, you look like you could rock any hairdo. You just have that face. Like he does. He could rock anything. But my second thing is like, did you have chemo? If you don't mind me asking.
Yeah, no problem at all. I love honesty. I went through a year of chemo and a half year of radiation. I had a thing called non-Hodgkin's lymphoma.
That's what my mom had. So my mom had that. My stepdad passed away from prostate cancer, but that was like 9 years ago. So my mom has this thing where she said she had to shave her head, but she calls it the chemo curls. So when her hair grew back, it grew back very curly. And I just ran into a woman the other day, and she had to cut all her hair down. And I saw the waviness, and I said, "Did you have chemo?" I said, "Do you believe in the chemo curls?" It's like
it's real. No,
is that what happened to you? I'm just curious.
It also fucked up my beard. Like when I was younger, my beard used to come in a lot fuller. So now like it gets a little like shadowy right there and stuff. Like before, when you're describing the dirt bag with the shitty beard, I was trying to hide my face a little bit.
You're like, I have the wrong plates, bitch.
No, your beard.
It wasn't me.
No.
It wasn't me. My backpack's over there. It has no work.
Because I thought the same thing when I was telling the story. I was like, I don't want Tom to feel bad about this. Like, this is a real scumbag beard. Like scumbags in New Hampshire, anyways. especially Somersworth and Rochester. Like white guy scumbags in Rochester and Somersworth, New Hampshire, can't grow a real beard. Like for some reason, I don't know. Maybe it's all the meth that they're smoking. I'm not sure.
Yeah, it might be. I mean, there's no intrinsic evidence to point one way or another, but I just know there's a sweet connection between junkies and having shitty beards.
There is.
Yeah, I totally believe in chemo curls. Okay. So Donnie, I don't want. Once again, I'm just trying to bring down the room, dude. Fucking, I saw that amazing tribute you did for your mom the other day.
Thank you. Yeah. So for those that don't know, because I did not share it on my.
Ooh, we're gonna get
on the
lights.
I did not share it on the Adulting with Donnie Facebook page. It was on my personal page. So for those that don't know, yesterday was the 15-year anniversary of my mother dying. She was killed by a drunk driver down in Texas 15 years ago. And it's always, every year, it's like, I don't know. It feels like a sin to compare it, but I'm going to. It's like 9/11 for the rest of America, where it's like every year you have to relive this thing. Yeah, yesterday I made a post about actually it was the first time that I've ever done like a letter to my mom, because when I've seen it before, when other people have done it, I've been like, there's no Facebook in heaven. All right, stop it. And
yes, thank you for saying that. But continue.
But this year I was like, you know what, fuck it. I'm gonna write something as if I was talking to my mother one last time. And yeah, I mean, it was a good day. I don't mourn her like I did previously. Now I celebrate her life on the day that she died, and she lived a great life. She got to have the job that she always wanted for 10 years. So she was an American Airlines flight attendant. She narrowly missed 9/11 as it is. 9/11. So flight 11 that crashed into the North Tower, I think. I have a 50-50 shot of getting that right.
I know, right? You're either the most patriotic dude in the room or you're the biggest idiot. Depends.
Flight 11, either way, was one of her normal flights. So she knew the pilots. She knew the flight attendants on the flight. There were passengers on the flight that she knew, because that was a normal flight. It like every fucking Tuesday or whatever, it left Boston and went wherever the fuck it went. I think Los Angeles or San Diego or San Francisco. It was a normal flight, so there were regular passengers who would take it. Not a lot, but there were 4 or 5 regular passengers. So she knew people on the flight, and she had to take that day off to take my grandfather to a doctor's appointment. So the way their scheduling worked was, back then anyways, was like a bidding system. So based on seniority, every month at the beginning of the month, you put in your bid for what you wanted for a schedule and what you wanted for days off. So she put in for that day off so she could take my grandfather to a doctor's appointment. And otherwise she would have been on that plane. So the way I've looked at it for the last few years is that, we were lucky and we got to keep her for another 5 years beyond that date, that we, in theory, should have lost her, like a Final Destination type of thing.
That's like a couple of people did that, and like not trying to diminish, like Seth MacFarlane famously was supposed to be on that flight to fly out to LA, but he ended up oversleeping and missed it. And same thing with Mark Wahlberg, if I'm not mistaken, or he just said that he would have taken down the pilots. I can't remember which one exactly it was. I know for a fact it happened to Seth MacFarlane. And the reason I brought it up is because we were talking about hair, we're talking about everything else. And once again, it was a beautiful, amazing thing. And I really do believe in, promoting the fact and promoting the love that you had for an individual that died. And doing so on Facebook is good. But I also feel at the same time, I respect your choice to kind of hold back for the first little bit, because like when one of my best friends from high school unfortunately killed himself, life gets hard and sometimes there's no good way to do it, but he did. And for the first couple months, I didn't post anything about it, and everyone kind of expected me to, but everybody else in the world was posting their stuff. Now, whether they were closer to him, whether they were so far, but they just wanted that little bit of attention that comes along with somebody dying, right. I don't know. That's not for me to say what their intentions were behind their posting, but I knew that it didn't seem right to do so until one day I finally wrote everything I wanted to write about the experiences I had, how good, he treated me, how their family welcomed me with open arms and blah, blah, blah,
Yeah.
all the important stuff. And I felt that it was the time to do so was appropriate. And that's what I see when you did that post. Like you said, you didn't want to do it in the beginning, and not that you were judging people prior to that, but you didn't think it was the right time or place. And I don't think you would have been able to speak the truth that you were when you did this latest post. That being said, and how beautiful it was, can we talk about your look? What year was that?
Well, I was gonna say too with him, like I just put like my little comment was, I love how Donnie writes. Like I'm like, dude, you were such a good writer, and he's just like eloquent, and it's beautiful, but it's candor. You know what I mean? And I'm like, and it's nice that people get to see that side of him. Because I'm like, when we first met, there was a lot of weird posts going on, and I really liked it.
I went to work this morning, and I had one of the clerks at the post office had commented last night about that post, and then he came up to me this morning and he said, "Boy, that was a really beautiful post." And to be honest, and I texted Ro afterwards, I said, I didn't think it was that good. To be honest, I didn't think that it was that special.
Because you're just talking how you talk,
but. He came up to me and he said, boy, that was really amazing. I was telling one of the other clerks about it this morning, and she started crying. And then one of my supervisors came up and heard them talking about it, and she started crying. And I'm like, I'm thinking to myself, like, I didn't see anything amazing about it. I was just trying, like you said, trying to be very candid about my feelings. And I don't think that you can, I said in that post, I don't think that you can put all of that emotion into words as it is. I don't think there's any possible. And had I been able to put all that emotion into words and really post it, then maybe it would have been like, wow, this is really blowing away.
Well, I don't know. I think it's because of the way that you wrote it, like real, like, like my stepdad, every year of his anniversary of his passing, like I repost something about him. But I think it's, because everybody can, in the way that you wrote it, like you didn't just write like a tribute to your mom. Like you kind of wrote about almost like put in like the mistakes and the things that we wish we would have said, or the things that we wish we didn't say. And, right. And that's kind of like where everybody can, I feel like, meet where everybody else is at on that emotional level, where it's just like, shit, yeah, of course. And then don't take it for granted. And then we only think about that for like a certain amount of time. Then we take shit for granted again, But the cool thing I was going to say to you, Tom, is like, I don't know if you know, but my stepdad was a retired postal worker. So he missed him by about a year and worked at the same place. And then his dad's a retired state trooper. So it's kind of like this interesting dynamic that we have.
It is funny. It's funny that her stepdad's a postal worker, my stepdad's a police officer, and now I'm a postal worker and she's a police officer. It's like a cross section there of how we ended up together.
It sounds like you both have daddy issues, and you're just taking it out on each other in the most physical way possible.
Well, yeah, he was my second stepdad, so of course I have fucking daddy issues. Like, who doesn't? He's got mommy issues. I got daddy issues. We could do this.
So what about this look?
Hold on, really quickly. Just because I want to tag on to the don't have regrets for not saying something when you should. I had a buddy who passed away. Drugs kind of took a toll on his body. Right. Blah blah. And the shitty thing was, he wished me happy birthday on my birthday, and I was like, oh, I'm doing something, but I'm totally going to message him back. And I forgot to do so. And then, a couple days later, me and the wife are on our way to go see a Burt Kreischer show. And I get the message that he passed away. And I was like, fuck, dude, I never responded because I always counted on the fact that he'd be there and I could do it. So never ever waste the opportunity. If someone you love, someone you care about, message you, please just give them a couple seconds.
Can you repeat this, Tom? Can you repeat this again? Because I might have had this conversation the other night. Can you just say, like, don't wait and just one more time, please? So we're hearing this from somebody other than the girlfriend.
What you should do is you should definitely put it off until the last second. You should never, ever fucking do it right off the bat.
Where's your wife? I want to talk to your wife right now.
My wife is respectfully taking care of my children, so I can do this whole nonsense. Not that the show is nonsense, but like I've been doing it for like going on 4 hours now, and she's
I know. I was gonna say,
I'm gonna be like, I'm on the Facebook. He's married to who? I'm sending her a message to come into the room and smack you silly.
It's the only other lady that has my name that's not like 60 and not like 20. So like, yeah, she's a great lady. My wife puts up a lot of bullshit and she lets me give up, some of my Saturday, which is family time, right? Because that's the one thing I care about the most, more than anything
Right.
else in this fucking world. I love my family to death, and my wife like lets me have this little bit, not like because people are always like, well, you should be able to do things by yourself. Yes, but I like doing things with my family, so I
Yeah.
choose
Right.
this because this is like my only artistic outlet that I have left, and I can do it from
Yeah.
the comfort of my home. I can do it in my office, attached to my fucking bedroom, and then afterwards, I get to go spend some time. So tonight, after I'm done with this, I'm gonna go hang out with her. We're gonna try to watch Falcon the Winter Soldier if she hasn't passed out yet, and all that
Yeah.
good happy horse shit. Now back to the look though.
Hold
Fucking
on.
what year was
Hold on.
that?
I will get. I'll get to the look thing. I just want to tag on to what you just said a minute
Okay,
ago.
tag away.
I will. I had a friend. I had a guy that I was in the military with who killed himself in 2017, and I go to the wake, and my former lieutenant. We're at the wake, and he showed me a message where this guy had texted him 3 weeks earlier, just 21 days earlier. Texted him and said, "Hey, it's my birthday tomorrow." I think it was the message. It's my birthday tomorrow. Let's go out and get drinks. And my lieutenant was like, "Oh yeah, let's do that. And if we can't make it work tomorrow night, then let's make it happen soon or whatever." And then 3 weeks later, he kills himself. And I was like, "Fuck, man! I wouldn't want to." I can't imagine living with that. Like, I'm sure it doesn't bother my lieutenant today, or maybe even then as much, but I wouldn't want to be that guy who gets a message from someone saying like, let's hang out. And then you're just thinking, like you just said, like, oh, I have time for that. I have the next 500 years to do that. And then, within a few days they're gone.
I would like to tag on to the wake word.
Uh-huh.
No, I actually when you grow up in Portsmouth and you're a police officer, like you tend to
Go to a bunch of them.
Well, you know a lot of people, you know what I mean? So I end up probably going to quite a few. And even if it's like people that we've maybe even arrested you just have these interesting dynamic relationships. And there's just really some characters in the city that, you just go and pay your respects. And one person in particular, he passed away. And I just seen it and that's another great thing about Facebook sometimes, like social media. And I saw that he passed away. And you could sometimes be a hellion, like kind of growing up, and he was older. And one of the things that really resonated with me is when my stepdad passed away, like he came to the memorial service, and he was kind of an old school guy. And, and he came in his, and I'll say this, like his, white tank top, like wife beater, like his best dress, like jeans and everything. And that's because a lot of his pictures actually had him pictured like that at his memorial. But when I went through, I specifically wanted to meet up and talk to his daughter, who I messaged on Facebook and just said, "Hey, I'm going to be there at your dad's services," And again, sometimes we arrested him, like sometimes we did not. And, he was just a good person, like beyond all that. But anyway, I'm going through the line and I get to her and I kind of put my arm around her and she's like, "Thank you so much, for coming." And, and she's just an awesome person. And I was like, and then I leaned in and I was like, your dad was the first person I ever arrested. And she goes, "What?" And I said, "Yeah." I said, and the reason why is there used to be this little red store that we'd all get candy from, like across from my neighborhood that I grew up in, that I still live in. And, so like when I first got on patrol, like I was, stopped by just to say hi to them. And I'm like kind of shooting the breeze with them. And somebody's like, "What are you up to?" On the radio, just checking my location. I'm like, "Oh, I'm out with, so-and-so," and we're just chatting. And all of a sudden they come over the radio. They're like, he has a warrant. And I'm like, "Oh no." So I go, "You got a warrant? Like, I got to take you." And he goes, "Okay, sweetheart, no problem. Hey guys, I'll be back. Where do you want me? Do you want, go ahead, put them right on." So I'm telling her the whole story. And he's just like, it was the sweetest. I'm like, can everybody just be like that for the rest of my life? And she's like, "You have to write that in the tribute. Can you please write that in the tribute?" And I said, I will. And it was just like, it was such a that was my first interaction with him, and he was amazing. You know what I mean? So it was just kind of a funny little story that somebody would want you to tell that story,
And I'm sure every arrest after that was just the same. Everyone's just like,
just
"Oh,
amazing.
sure, no problem, officer."
In all honesty, I get a lot of requests to arrest people, to get out the cuffs and everything, like, you know what I mean? So I'm like, that's why I'm thinking about this OnlyFans situation. I'm like,
Yeah, but I say, I'm sure
Well,
they
you
pay
said
you
it right
extra
this
for
time.
that.
I know I'm wicked dyslexic, so I'm always like, fans only, extra fans. Sometimes with plate numbers, that's not good.
What's
That's a
this?
different website. That's where you get coolant devices from, is the fans only page. What's the what now? What's the what? What's the what?
You said something about my look.
Yes. Okay. Back to your look. Even your amazing
Yeah.
tribute. So, what year was that, Donnie?
What year did she die?
Yeah. No. What year was that picture? Can I take a guess? I'm gonna guess it's around the time that the Marshall Mathers LP came out.
Oh.
He was wearing the Affliction shirts. I went through. I don't know if I could date this person. He's got like a chain wallet. Oh my god.
Hold on.
I had one too. That's why I think I know the year. So what year was this?
Yeah,
hold on.
That. Let me have this.
Hold on. Let me. I got to bring up the picture.
Oh yeah. We're tech involved in this motherfucker.
Oh yeah. Let me
get it. Show it.
Let me bring up the picture.
Picture. It didn't happen.
Let's see here. Let's see. I'm scrolling Facebook.
Where did that picture come from?
Which one?
There's just one on your feed. Was there something in the paper you shared?
Yeah. Oh yeah. I shared your post earlier about come on. Stupid Facebook. Sometimes I just hate Facebook.
All right.
All right. Hold on.
Right now.
I am. All right. I got the picture up. Share Chrome tab. Here we go. Facebook share. All right, there I am. So I got the short hair going on. I think I might have some my earrings in. I got this like chrome chain.
Everybody want to talk like they got something to say, but then use the hips and never the wrap up.
I had this chrome chain around my neck. I got my cell phone clipped to my hip. I got a Nextel
sideways.
Nextel phone clipped to my hip.
Dude, that's so dope. Look at that.
You got ring bling. Were you married?
So I was not married at that time. That ring is the ring that I'm wearing is actually my father's St. Anselm's College class ring.
2 earrings or one?
I got 2 earrings.
You have like a little Latino.
I'm gonna
throw it out there.
He's fucking silly. You gotta have 2 earrings.
He's got the little Latino like fade cut.
So that picture. So if you notice, my father's got a Michelob Ultra or Michelob something in his hand.
Yeah.
I am holding a bottle of Corona, and my mother is holding a glass of Corona. And so here's what happened, right? So I was working at Raymond Dispatch, and
Fast and Furious was really popular at the moment.
To answer your question, this is August 19th, 2003.
Wow.
Wait, no. Yes, 2003. I just turned 21 years old this day, and I was working at Raymond Dispatch, and my shift was 3 p.m. to 11 p.m., and my friends were throwing a party for me. So I said, all right, I'm going to go home and get changed, and then I'll be there. So I get out of work at 11. I go home. It's only about a 10-minute drive to get home. And I walk in, and my mother says, I have to have a drink with you. It has to be, your first drink has to be with me. And I was like, come on, I got to go. My friends are throwing a party. I have to leave. And my mother's like, no, she's insisting. You have to have your first drink with me. And I was like, Mom, I'm just turned 21 today, and you want me to drink and drive. And she's insisting, nope, you have to. She's like, we'll just have half a beer. So the Corona in my hand, I poured half into her glass, and then I drank the other half. And then my sister is the one behind the camera on this. She took the picture. So and that day, actually, that morning, I woke up and my father gives me my birthday gift, which was my my first handgun.
Yeah, Dad.
Yeah, he gives me my first handgun.
Oh, the door.
And it was a Smith & Wesson TSW 4566, which I still have in my safe. And he says he gave me a really nice letter with it. That letter still exists upstairs somewhere, but I know that there was one sentence that came out of that letter. The letter was basically you're 21 now. This is, my gift is a handgun. It's the same at that time, it was the same handgun that New Hampshire State Police carried as their handgun. And he said, there was one sentence that always stuck out with me in that. And it was, a bullet is like a spoken word. Once it's out, you can't take it back.
So poignant. I love that.
And
Words to live by.
And so when that morning he gives me this handgun and whatever, and I put it back in its box and put a lock on it and put it in my bedroom. But I had the ammo in my car and I leave there to go to this party my friends are having in Dover, New Hampshire, which is about a half-hour drive away. And I get on the highway and immediately accelerate to like 85 and immediately get pulled over by a state trooper. And he came walking up and he saw the ammo and he said, are there any weapons in the car? And I said, no. And I was very confused as to why he'd asked that question until I looked down and saw the ammo boxes. But he, like before I got I remember this so vividly. Right before I got to him, I looked down at my speedometer and I was like, holy shit, why am I going so fast? And I started to slow down and then I saw him and I was like, what the fuck? And he pulled me over and he came walking up. He said, why are you going so fast? I said, seriously, as soon as I happened to look down right before seeing you and started to slow down and thought, why am I going so fast? And he said, yeah, I noticed that, right before you came up on me, you did start to slow down. So he ended up giving me a warning, which was nice.
Donnie loves blue lights. Yeah.
I do love blue lights.
So I bought him one.
Nice.
I do like blue lights a lot.
I'm going to go get it for you.
I thought that's why you arrested him on a consistent basis. You're like, all right, let's do it again, Ro. And he's put on the lights, please.
Yeah, Ro bought me a blue flashing light.
I see that.
Just because
how
I
tempted
like.
are you? How tempted are you to put that on you?
I don't need you to finish that sentence. The answer is very. I got up this morning and I was a little bit late for work, and I was like, I could just hold that out of my door on the roof of my truck.
I'm like, I do not know you. Okay, it's the worst though. I'll tell you what, I hate it when I'm behind somebody and I have to pee or something, and that's not in protocol where you're allowed to use your blue lights, and they go the speed limit. I'm just like, come on, I gotta go.
I used that as an excuse one time, and the cop did not accept it as an excuse. I what they called starting a parked car when you go. I think that might be the term. I was going around a corner and I was kicked my ass end out. I was driving a '93 Ford Thunderbird, rear wheel drive, 5.0 high output motor. It was fucking nice grocery getter.
I got a story about that.
Grocery getter. Yeah. You got a real Thunderbird right now. You got a man's Thunderbird.
I have two stories about that, sort of. One's a personal story. The other one is not.
Can I hear the question? What was the question? Did you have a question?
What, me? Yeah. Well, the only question in that was is it called starting a parked car? That's what they got. I remember the cop saying, because it was so weird. The terminology for
is that in Vermont?
Yeah, man. Fucking.
Here we would call it misuse of power, and it's a town ordinance, depending on what town you're in.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Other towns might use the state law, which is just reckless operation or negligent operation. Yeah,
you're very fast and furious. Sir.
Yeah,
we'd like to stop.
Yeah,
totally was.
Yeah.
family, bro.
You're very Vin Diesel, sir.
When I was 18 years old, so I have two stories. So when I was 18 years old, I like this shit. All the people that are tuning in right now, this is the friend experience. Okay, it's just me and Rob and Tom just talking like normal people. and you're getting the friend experience. So all of you lonely people at home who have nothing better to do on a Saturday night
or on a Sunday morning when you listen to the recap.
So when I was 18, I had a 1990 Ford Ranger. So this is the year 2000. I had a 1990 Ford Ranger, and it was a rear-wheel drive only truck. And I stopped at a stop sign in Raymond, New Hampshire, and my friend was turning left onto the same road that I was turning out of. And he was like, "Hey, Donnie," he reaches out his window. "Hey, Donnie, what's up?" And so I dumped the clutch and spun the tires, and then I slammed it into second gear and spin the tires again. And then I look up, and there is Raymond Police right there on a detail. And because they were on a detail with a tree company. So one of the officers comes running out of the woods, waving to me. I just got both hands like, I don't see you. Take off. And my 18-year-old brain was like, if they don't catch you within 3 months, then they can't charge you with the crime that you committed. So
I don't know, 3 months statute limitation.
So for 3 months I didn't. So
like, I don't know that one. Honey.
So for 3 months I did not go through the town of Raymond, New Hampshire at all. I skipped that town entirely.
It's a good timeline.
Good move.
And hey, I never got charged with that crime.
How great would it be if Ro all of a sudden just whipped out her badge? She's like, "News, motherfucker, you're under arrest," and she just takes you right.
Exactly. Going down tonight. Text people right now. I'm like, you need to drop that warrant.
And then the the other one is way more recent. Happened today. I was at a stoplight, and
what? I don't know.
You do know this story
Okay.
because I sent you a picture. I was at a stoplight this morning, and cross traffic had a red light. And this guy does a U-turn at the red light, and he's in a Dodge Challenger, which I love Dodge Challengers. Yeah. And so he does a U-turn, and I can hear the engine spin up, and then fucking tires. And I'm like, where's that coming from? Where's it coming from? And I look, and I spot the Dodge Challenger spinning the tires, fishtailing, and then he fishtails real hard, like the pavement switched, like it switched to new pavement. And he fishtails real hard, and he almost wrecks it. He saved it, but he almost wrecks it. And so then I continue about my day doing my deliveries, and about 15 minutes later, I pull up to this car dealership, and there's this Dodge Challenger parked in the lot with the guy still behind the wheel. So
test drive.
He was on a test drive in a Dodge Challenger. So I walked in, I deliver the mail, and I walk out, and there's like 3 salesmen outside watching him kick the tires or whatever. And I just started laughing, and I said to them, I said, he almost wrecked it out there on Route 1. And they were like, oh, you almost wrecked like my mail truck? And I was like, no, the guy in the Challenger right there, he almost wrecked that car. And they were like, well, at least he's getting some enjoyment out of it before he buys it. So hopefully he would
buy it. He's like, I don't want this car.
I'm delivering the same route on Monday, so I'm hoping that I pull up and see the car still in the lot.
I'll tell you, we never have anything like. There's no short of anything to talk about in this relationship. It's just like funny.
Yeah.
There's something like new every day or whatever. I was mad today because I went to a grocery store. Let me ask you this, right? I have a couple pet peeves. But I go to this certain grocery store, and it happens at other stores, right? One thing I don't like anyway is like when people are like staring at the stuff that you're buying. I feel like I'm being judged. You know what I mean? That person's behind you in line. And I feel like it's been nice with COVID because you have to stay 6 feet apart. So you're not all up on eagle-eyeing my stuff, right? But so I'm going through line at this store, and there's 3 people, right? So there's a bagger, there's a cashier, and it sounds like that the bagger is going through some training process. And so this person in the middle is like, how old are you in high school? Are you in 8th grade? Well, you look older, and she's supposed to be like, I think, monitoring this one. And then somebody else comes over. It's like, how's the bagging going? Are you getting it? Right. And I'm not talking shit about baggers because my first job was at Market Basket when I was 16. So I love to tell people, like, you're going to be a cop. Grow up if you start as a bagger, right? But this one person thinks, and I bought the Exhibit A. I bought Exhibit A, Your Honor, because this was my protein shake that I bought that I've never tried before. And so while like the stuff's going through, and I bring my own bags, so everything in the same bag, this like in between training person does this number.
Audio podcast, babe.
Well, you can explain
Stares at it intently.
She holds like my thing, like my little protein shake, and just starts like looking at the calories and what is in it, and just like literally just like molesting my future property. And it just, I hate that.
I can go beyond that a little bit.
Well, sometimes I just look at them. I'm like, put it in the bag.
I don't like it when they're like, Oh, Doritos and cheese dip. Somebody's not going to work today.
Somebody got broken up with. Fucking Ben and Jerry and Hawaiian Punch. You're gonna die in a year.
I'm the complete polar opposite. I like to showcase what I'm buying because like usually it's like food to make an actual meal and stuff. So I love it when I roll up with fresh broccoli and fucking herbs and spices and like a roast chicken and shit. I'm like, yeah, that's right. Fuck you. I'm gonna make a fantastic meal. Jealous.
I feel like people try to figure out that she's single. You know what I mean?
They're only asking that because they want to be arrested by you, Ro. They're like, oh, that's that Ro detective lady. I want to be arrested by her.
Well,
I hear she has a fans only page.
Well, that's what I talked to him about that. I go, that or the cat. We might do one for the cat. But I was like, I was in line one time and I was on duty, but I was like in civilian clothes because I was, you know, like a general investigator at that time. Now I kind of wear a uniform, but you couldn't see that I had like my badge and gun and all that stuff. And this guy's behind me and I'm just like trying to buy my stuff. And he's like, keeps trying to talk to me. And I'm like, hey, yep, good. And I was just in one of those modes where I'm like, I don't want to. Like, I already was polite. Like, I don't, and he, like, again, he didn't know I was whatever I was. I feel compelled a lot of times when I'm on duty, right? If somebody knows I'm an officer, like, talk to him, you see, because I'm like, hi, I feel like I have to. But when I'm off, or you don't know that I'm, no. And so, like, he's, hey, the weather is nice. And I'm like, yep. And then I finally just turn around. I'm like, I don't want to talk.
Yeah.
Like, I just, like, no. Like, I just stop. Stop making me feel bad about.
You're so much more forward than me.
No, I'm just like I'm not. I think I think my exact words were, I'm not doing this right now.
I ignore people.
Like, I just can't. Like, I said hi to you and I was like nice and I, you know, and then I'm like, there's nothing else to talk about. I'm buying my shit. Go away.
I just ignore people.
I did the pleasantries, and that's all I want to do. It's not 7:00 at night at the grocery store. It's like 11:30. So when you're at the grocery store 11:30, everybody's buying lunch. Like, it's usually work professionals. It's not 7:00 at night is when you got hot yoga pants coming through and the single people that need to mingle in the produce section. That's not where I was.
That's where all the hipsters are meeting their mates now. It's not Facebook, it's not Match.com, it's the produce section of your local market.
I'm telling you, yeah. And that's when they reduce all the meat, you know. So go.
Can we talk about OnlyFans?
Oh yeah, it was good.
So you watched the documentary?
I did on Hulu.
Tom, you've heard of OnlyFans?
Oh yeah, I took notes.
I have heard of OnlyFans just because, like, I use it as my example when I do promoting for our sponsor on our USUK network page. I always give a shout out to our sponsor, which is a website developer, and I always use the term OnlyFans. I'm like, whether you have an Etsy or an OnlyFans, you know, you want an online presence. So I'm familiar with what they are, and because a lot of teachers apparently are getting in trouble nowadays for having OnlyFans.
Teachers?
We saw some teachers the other night. We were out. I'm like,
that's true. That's true.
You know, some teachers.
That's a good point.
They're very reasonable, but sometimes they just need to get out, man. I do community helper day. I talk to kids for like 15 minutes or something. I'm like, I don't know how people do this all day. It's, you know, it's a lot. You got to give a lot of yourself to these kids. But no, it was good. The documentary was good. It's like actually a lot more intricate than what I thought it was, because I thought it was just going to be like all about, you know, selling porn and all these things. But it's an interesting little process of like how certain people got into it and what it's done for the industry and what it's done against like the adult film industry. But I think the guy that started it was like Tom Stokely, and nobody really knows much about in like 2016. Like they were saying, kind of like, is he going to be the next Hugh Hefner or something like that? But they don't really know where everything's going to go. But they said it, like, I think you mentioned her name was the girl's name that you mentioned.
On OnlyFans?
Yeah, you said, oh God, what was her name? Yeah, you mentioned the redhead.
Ugh.
It was the only person that you mentioned, and you were like,
an actress?
Yeah, she used to be Disney.
Oh, Bella Thorne.
Yeah. Yes,
Bella
Thorne.
So
they brought that up. So they kind of featured like 4 different people. One was a girl who was kind of, you know, she considers herself overweight or bigger girl that was doing like, you know, twerking. Like she was kind of twerking, and all of a sudden, like she didn't have any money for Christmas presents. And so she goes, I'm going to do a video of my ass. I put a video of my ass on there. I was twerking. She made $1,300. Boom. Like she's like, okay, for like this business. And so she talked to her parents. Like she was of age, but she lived at home. She's like, hey, I want to start doing this. So she started doing it. But it's interesting because like they started out maybe just videos of that. And then, of course, like next thing you know, the last thing they showed was her doing this threesome that she always wanted to try. and she made $8,000 off of that. Right.
Wow.
So Bella Thorne made $1 million in one day. So Bella Thorne, they talked about her. She was a Disney star. She was in that show, Shake It Up, which is like, I didn't pay attention to Disney like at that point, but she wanted to shake the like Disney princess, like, facade, and get into like, she directed like an adult film, and she got an award for it. And so then she told everybody that she was going to get into the OnlyFans as a research for like an acting job that she had, which turned out really not to be true. So she jumps on, and this is the kicker, because I always thought everything had to be like nudity and things like that. So she got on, and in a day, she made $1 million, and she didn't show any nudity. And so she was trying to say that she was, trying to make it more mainstream or change the dialogue about, they keep saying sex workers, like in the documentary, they were referring everybody's sex workers, and that was porn industry and who knows what else, trying to change like the stigma and everything on it. And then it turned on her because she wasn't doing nudity. It turned out she wasn't doing it for a documentary, and they were pissed because she came in and made $1 million fucking in one day. And they're like, we've been in this industry, we've been like, biting our teeth on it. We're, like we've done like it was pretty much like you came in, you made him, and you back out, and this has been like our business, and you didn't earn your way, right? And then and they've done with it is there was another guy they featured. He did erotic art, and he's like straight, but he does this erotic art, but he cuts everything down as soon as you get to like, he's like, as soon as it gets towards the penis, he's like, I cut out. He goes, because someday I want to do something different, and I don't want that to be like a barrier. And then there was a woman film star, and she said she's done 600 scenes in 6 years.
Yeah.
Sex scenes. And so she was the one I was talking about. They got the Oral Performer Award. And she was just saying that it worked for her because she was like, now I don't have to deal with shitty directors that I don't like. I don't have to people I don't like she's her own boss. And it's really interesting. Things like $5 to $10 for some subscriptions, but then they get you in. They can make you their boyfriend for the week and give you extra, write little signs and pictures and be like, this so it was.
So I have a little bit of experience with OnlyFans.
That was my first question. I texted him. I'm like, "Are you on OnlyFans?"
I have a little bit of experience, not a ton, but I would equate it to being like a Planet Fitness membership, where, but it's no seriously, but it's like multiple memberships. So every person that you're going to follow costs a certain amount of money. So, and like she just said, it could be $5, $10. I've seen them as high as like $80 to follow these people, and it's an automatic renewal. So, and if you're not really paying attention, so this is what I told you that like I'll talk about it later. It wasn't necessarily supposed to be on the show, but now it is. It's not really something you pay attention to. So I subscribed to one person for like $12. So it was like $12 to view feed or whatever, and. So I go and I look, I check out their feed, cool. But at the end of the day, I'm like, this is, it's porn. Most of them are porn, and there's over 4 million videos on Pornhub. So, and they're free.
Well, they say like the other thing about it was they're saying it's like interactive because you can message, you can do all this stuff. So it's a little bit, so it's a little more personable. And then
hold on, I'll get to that.
I wasn't done with the documentary.
Oh,
but
okay.
Go ahead.
Okay.
No, really.
Okay.
Well, this is where I thought it got interesting because I thought it was like cut and dry, like you're just paying for like porn or whatever, right? But then it turned out that like now they're trying to push it towards, instead of featuring, like they don't really talk about that that's what you're going to get on OnlyFans, and now they're really trying to push celebrities. So like Cardi B got on there and she's like, I don't do nudity. Like they have like comedians that are on there, but then there was this girl who worked for a car like place, and so she's like a mechanic. And it's not a lot of women in the mechanic industry. She's young, but she wants to be a race car driver. And she started doing fans only or OnlyFans. And then she realized like I can actually like buy a race car before I'm like 60 years old. But then it escalated and she incorporated her boyfriend into doing like sex scenes and stuff like that with her. But then like she ended up getting fired from her job. Right. Well, and it was funny because she's like, well, it's like you have to be like into it. And she's like, but it's my boyfriend and I'm getting more money for it. And she's like, but then he comes home, and if he's tired from a day of work, it's not as easy as being like, hey, let's take photos.
Right.
Like you have to actually perform and out that she had this page, and then all the guys that she worked with, like the superiors, her bosses were like, well, you're a distraction now, like because people know that you have this page and they go see it, so it's almost like, you know, they're a bunch of dogs and you fed them dog food. And so I think she might be suing, but she ended up losing her job of, you know, over it. And it's like she just felt that it was like a double standard, you know?
Yeah. That is a double standard because
you have the floor now.
That is a double standard because had it been the other way around, had it been her boyfriend that was doing it the whole time, then but you know, how do you argue a double standard? But anyways, so it's like a Planet Fitness membership where you don't really see that money coming out at the end of the month. And one day I just happened to look at my bank account and I was like, you know, why is my bank account $50 less than I expect it to be? So I scroll through and I'm looking because I check my bank account daily, and I'm scrolling through and I'm like, where did this money go out? And it's like OnlyFans charge you $13 for, you know, one charge, another $13 for another charge.
It's like Amazon Prime.
It's like, what the fuck is happening? And it says it. And to make it even worse, like, it's not even discreet. Like, at least Adam and Eve is discreet about their bank charges. Fucking OnlyFans is just like, here's your OnlyFans charge. And
pervert.
So I got on and canceled all those subscriptions, but still that's what I mean by Planet Fitness. It's similar in that I had a Planet Fitness membership where at the end of the month I'm like, whatever, it's $10, you know, and so to look at a membership and be like, oh, I can see all the fucking photos and posts and whatever that this person puts up that they don't put on Instagram.
Well, they'll talk to you too if you want to spend some extra money. They'll send you they'll be like, "Hey, Donnie,
that's why I texted
you.
That's why I texted you was that I would get these messages that are meant. The messages come through and they look like it's for you. It's like, "Hey, baby, you want to see me fuck my ass with a dildo?" type of thing.
I wish you would not share my DMs that I send you, Donnie. I mean, those
are honestly, Tom, those are literally the Post-it notes that I put into his lunch every day.
That's true.
Like, right next to his chicken sandwich. He's like, "Would you like to fuck me in my hole?"
Yeah, and string cheese. I put it on. I wrap it around the string cheese.
Yeah, but those are the messages that you would get, and you get them. Some of these people will do them 2 or 3 times a day. But it's a private message, A, and B, it's, do you want to see this thing happen to me? Send me $20, send me $50, send me $10. So it's on top of the subscription amount, and you know, I mean, it's got to be a huge industry at this point. I don't know what the takeaway is, what OnlyFans is.
So they get
away.
80%. So they have to.
Holy shit!
Yeah, and that's the big drive, is that they get 80%. Like one person was making like $49,000 a year, another person was making $75,000, and then comedians like Donnie Rollins, he was in there, and then, you know, but they said that, you know, and so when they were talking, you know, it's like you put your body out there and then you open yourself up for criticism. So you're getting like a lot of nasty, you think. Like one girl she was a bigger girl and she's talking about it on the documentary. She's like, I'm getting messages like, "You're fat, why are your tits so small?" And she's like, "Well, my mom has," and she's like legit, like, and she's reading them out and she's like, "And I'm gonna tell them why, because my boobs are small, because my mom's boobs are small, and her mom's boobs are small too. And why do you have such a large ass crack?" Well, because that's what happened. That's hereditary. Like she's like going through this whole thing, but she was really, you know, opening herself up for that. It doesn't make it okay, but they were getting private messages, and then people were just like, "You're disgusting," and they were saying to the, you know, like everybody was just kind of saying that is like the backlash that comes with it is, you know. And I
can't believe she paid for those people paid for the privilege just to tell her that she was nasty. Like that's
right. Isn't that great?
They would have to,
thank you,
because they would have to.
Money.
Yeah, they would have to subscribe just to send her a message. I think. Yeah. I'm almost positive.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So they'd have to at least spend that money.
But I can see, you know, people get sucked in. Like, I need Christmas money, and you twerk and you get $1,300 like to somebody.
But the thing is, she's already a winner. These people have already paid her, so it doesn't really, regardless of what the outcome is, she already won. I got your fucking money. That's why I started doing this for it, idiot.
Right.
So I'm a winner with
as long as you're
right.
As long as you're using the other social medias at the same time, then you can entice people. That was how I got caught. Was like
You got catfished?
That was how I got catfished. Was like
You're not a victim here, sweetie. You're
was
not
like
a victim here.
this particular girl had posted on Instagram. I don't remember her name. I think it was Kayla something, but she posted
Lexi.
on Instagram, and it was like, see the full set on OnlyFans, you know, and she puts her link. You know, she's like, see the full set, link in bio, and I was like, all right, you know, I'll check that out, and that's how I got there.
I feel like I'm losing money. I feel like with him, I should be like, hey, if you want me to take off my shirt, I need $5. Like, PayPal me. I'm gonna start.
I could do that.
All right, I'm gonna do it. And I'll be like,
no, please don't. I will lose so much money.
I'll change my relationship status if you don't give me $100.
I'll have to sell all my guns and give up flying.
I'm gonna start like Venmoing my wife like $10 every time. Be like, hey, you're looking cute today. What's going on? The problem is we share a bank account, so it wouldn't really matter. She's like, I paid for myself, asshole. Fuck you.
The most I will say on this topic is it's not a concern with Ro, but there are exes I've had in the past that I've been like, I will pay you. I'll fucking give you money if you just let me if you let me have sex with you. I will just give you money.
I feel like such a cheap date. You know, that's
bank, bro. Should be making bank.
That's what I'm talking about. I might do a OnlyFans and just be like,
no, please don't.
No. Listen, you don't hear me out. We want to do one for the cat anyway, but I was like, I'd be like, oh, I'm putting on my vest.
Yeah, there you go.
Millions, more money. Like, oh, look at this. I got a gun. God.
My God.
There are websites out there that will pay you. Like they'll give you, like, if you agree to record your life with your significant other over the course of like 2 weeks, like and that's all they want. They want you to record your life. You know, have a camera going constantly of the two of you together, whatever it is, whether you're fucking cooking dinner or having sex, it doesn't matter. They just want they want 2 weeks of video and they'll give you $2,000 for it.
Right.
And it's like, what? Yeah, I swear to God, I
So why do fans anyway? Like, why only fans? Like, if you're, like you said, I can watch all this porn for free or whatever. So how, like,
I think it's is
it you want attention?
I don't think it's the attention. I think it's the idea. I don't think it's the attention. I think it's the idea of something that you can't see someplace else.
Right.
So OnlyFans, I don't know how they block you from being able to download videos or capture pictures or whatever. I don't know how they block all that stuff, but they must, because like Katrina Jade, she's a fairly popular porn star. And
never heard of her.
She, I don't know, about 6 or 7 months. It was right around the time that COVID started. Right around the time COVID started.
I'm just judging.
She, because they couldn't shoot porn, she started an OnlyFans. And when she, you know, it was only about 6 weeks, and she posted on Twitter, back when I was using Twitter, she posted there saying, I am done doing porn. From now on, if you want to see any of my content, it's going to be on OnlyFans. That's the only place to find me. So, and a lot of these, you know, adult entertainers are doing like professional video that you would see in porn and posting on OnlyFans.
Oh, I have to tell you, like, their setup is so easy. It's like a little phone mount and like one of those little lights you can buy at Walmart, and that was it.
Oh, that's
all that people had.
There's couples on Pornhub that use just GoPros. That's all they use,
and they look nothing like. I mean, there's a lot of filters and things too. Because I'm like, all right, I'm looking at the documentary camera, and then I'm looking at this one. I'm like, wow, like you look nice, but way different. And then that one girl, like the one that worked on cars, then she wanted to go get. Oh, this is the part that was disturbing out of the whole documentary. The one part that was disturbing was the girl that worked on the cars, and then she wanted to get a boob job. So she goes, and the disturbing part was the doctor. Hell no, I wouldn't let anybody touch me. She goes there, and so he's sitting down. He's like, okay, so like, Christina, like, let's do this, okay? And sometimes, like, he's like, don't worry, because sometimes the day of, like, you hear a voice, and the voice says, go huge, okay?
What?
That's normal. It's like,
what?
You got to be shit. I'd be like, I'm out of here.
I'm done.
Like, that's what he said, and I was like, holy crap, who is this guy?
Fuck this shit. I'm putting my pants back
on.
Like,
they should take the doctor. That's exactly what he said. And, she got him done. She went D. She was happy with D. She always wanted bigger,
Bigger tits.
Okay. I know I, for one, got D's in high school.
Speed and not for comfort.
I'm the happiest I've ever been. I always get that D. Guys.
Well, my friends always say anything more than a handful is a waste. You know what I mean?
More than a mouthful, I think, is
I don't
the
care.
term. More than a mouthful is a
Both.
waste.
You use hands and mouth. Anything more than that, and I'm not gonna have no back problems.
Nope.
I gotta put that vest on anyway. That's like the Boob Crusher 2021.
3000. Boob Crusher 3000.
I love you 3000.
I love you.
Yeah.
I love you 3000, Tom Bruno.
Oh, thank you. I love you guys as well. Do you guys mind if I plug really quick? I want to try to spend a little bit of time.
Oh my God, do it.
Do your thing.
Okay, thank you very much. First of all, guys, thank you so much for having me on the show. I fucking
Dude,
love.
I'm literally going until you're like, all right, all the drugs have worn off. I'm going to bed.
Oh, it has nothing to do with the drugs wearing off. It's literally like I want to give my family some attention. I spent a lot of the time sleeping today, and the rest of the time I spent podcasting. She's been very grateful, and I'm just trying to make sure I reciprocate the gratefulness by being like, okay, I'm a functioning member of this family again. Hi, everyone.
Double meat night sometimes. Double meat night.
Yes.
I know.
So, hey guys, if you liked anything I said at all, you can find me and my network, which I'm a part of. You know, it's not mine. It's a group, amalgam of fucking a bunch of people at USUKnetwork.com. And let me tell you guys,
USUK.
Yes, USUKnetwork.com. You can find 4 amazing shows on there. There is the USUK Chronicles with Jamie Westwood and Tom Stevens. They bring on amazing guests and have all these crazy stories, and they're a couple of good friends. It's a good time. We have Weekly Bazaar, which is a cool news outlet, which is also like cool. They bring in random podcasters.
I was on that show yesterday.
You were on the play. All right. See, there you go. You can vouch for this show. You can definitely check that out. That's with my partner, Alex Whiteley, and David Robbie from fucking Speakeasy Gentlemen. It's an excellent, excellent show. And sometimes Tom Stevens from the weekly from USUK Chronicles. There's Wednesday Night Live, which is every Wednesday night. We and the boys get together and we just kind of have some fun. It's like a drink down at the pub and you're hearing the conversation. We also play a couple games. It's a lot of fun. And there's also What's the Difference podcast with me, Tom Bruno, and my best friend Alex Whiteley. And we bring on the best guests we could possibly find to have interesting conversations with them. Last week was a National Geographic explorer, and we learned all about how he hunts down poachers and shit. It was a fucking dope-ass conversation.
Cool. Yeah.
And if you are interested in any of this stuff, please check out USUKnetwork.com. And our website, by the way, is brought to you by weborchard.com. If you have a website idea in your head, if you have a fucking Etsy, if you have an OnlyFans, hey, or fans only, motherfucker, you need an online presence. You need to put that shit on there properly. And the guys over at weborchard.com, they're going to build you a beautiful, functional website that is going to shock and amaze. And if you want to be able to judge a website by their work, check out the USUKnetwork.com and you will see their work in action.
Thank you, Tom.
Very nice. Get it.
Before you go,
yes,
I want to go take a piss, so you can talk to Ro.
What?
Is that all right?
Yeah, go for it. Go for it.
Okay, you guys chat. I'm gonna go take a piss.
Okay, you go pee.
Okay.
I can, I can talk. I'll talk to anybody. He did this to me last night too, and then I'm the best of friends with everybody.
He likes to put you on the spot. He's like, listen.
Oh, I don't mind.
I don't think he really goes pee. I think he goes behind a wall and
he's going outside.
See him yeah, man. We live in see, that's the great thing about living in the Northeast.
Just don't go in a bottle.
I mean, well, that's weird, right? I heard some Amazon people got in trouble for going in bottles.
Did you see that? So he started the other podcast, right? Like the We Deliver, which was, in my idea. The title.
Oh shit.
Oh yeah, because I'm like, why don't you just call it something like We Deliver, like the 2 mail carriers? So then he got in trouble because I was like, he kept saying mailman, and I'm like, it's mail carriers, and you're being exclusionary. And then they were talking about when they had to go to the bathroom, and one time they had to pee in a bottle or something, and I'm like, damn it, I'm like, but you totally left out the girls, and why don't you ask them or talk about how do girls pee in the truck? And then I'm like, then why don't you talk about where the hell the best bathrooms are? You always know that as a police officer or mail truck driver.
That's really helpful. I never once thought about that, but that would be extremely helpful, especially to people that are coming and visiting the area. If they don't know where to take a piss. I got a funny story about peeing in a cup though.
The Irving always they have their little checklists, and you go in the bathroom and you hover, but you see that yes, it was cleaned at 11:15.
Fucking A, right? I can sit on this. So me and the family went to pre-corona. virus and all that shit. We went to Disney World and we drove. It was a straight up American road trip. It was awesome. I loved it with all my heart. It was a lot of close, and of course, by the end, you just hate everybody in the car. You're like, I don't care if I live with you, die, but not really. So we were like in New York. We were in like the 16th to 20th hour in the car ride, trying to get back up to Vermont, and my middle one has to pee. So he pees in the McDonald's cup, and I'm just like so out of it, and I'm trying to like roll down the window, and I go to pee it. I put it in front of me, and all of a sudden, just a yellow shower, golden shower, my son's urine, and everyone's laughing at me, and I'm just like, she's like, "Do you want me to?" My wife's like, "Do you want me to pull over?" I'm like, "Just get me the fuck home."
In prison, we call that splashing. That's called splashing. Well,
you can call me Daryl Hannah then, because motherfucker, I was splashed.
Oh my god! How do you know that movie? How old are you?
I'm 33, but I'm classically trained.
Oh my god, you are!
You're very classically trained.
Oh, remember when she goes to eat the lobster? She's like, "That's how we eat lobster where I'm from." Or Alan, can you make me some pancakes? She's trying to try. I love you.
Fucking A.
I heart you.
Oh, heart you as well, my friend.
Are you awake, honey?
I'm awake.
There's my kid.
Oh, hi! What do we got? Oh, I can't see you. You're camouflaged. I can't see you.
You can't
hear. A child has arrived.
It's time for Daddy to go, huh? Don't worry.
All right.
What are you guys doing? Fun stuff?
He's gonna get a new character for Smash, and I'm gonna watch the show with the lady. You want to say something?
He's called Steve.
He's called Steve. Oh. All right, I'm coming out right now. Okay, coming out right now.
Nice to meet you. oh, you're getting. Oh, he's.
I know, right? Trust me, he likes it. He like says subscribe to my channel all the time. I'm like, you don't have a channel. Shouldn't you be like saying other stuff? All right, guys, I gotta go. Thank you again for having me on the show.
Thank you, Tom,
I appreciate it.
Bye, Tom,
for joining us.
Bye, little man.
Bye, guys. Have a good night,
buddy.
Bye, Ann. That just made me think of something about the whole OnlyFans. All right, so what do you think about?
So Tom is gone, and now it's just Ro and I.
You're so much better about the audio stuff.
For however long this continues, because I love talking to you, and I can talk to you for. We've done
so much to talk about.
We've done it before when we talk for hours. So Adulting with Donnie continues. Thank you very much, Tom, for joining us. I fucking love Tom and Alex.
Where's Alex?
Alex is in the UK.
And Britain.
Yeah, he's hanging out with Michael Caine.
Oh my god. Eating crumpets and tea.
I only know how to do that accent because if you could just say Michael Caine in a British accent, you just say my cocaine.
Oh god. All of you.
Michael Caine.
Dear Lord.
So thank you, Tom, very much for joining us tonight. And Adulting with Donnie continues.
Right, but I was just thinking about the whole.
You know what? I'm sorry to cut you off right there.
Go for it.
This is actually a good time to splice in Adam and Eve.
Go for it, and your other sponsor
and Raids.
Raids.
So let's start with Adam and Eve.
Honey, what do we get? You never get me anything.
Oh really? Is that factually accurate?
Maybe not.
As per usual, I will go to their website and see what's going on. Do you have anything you want to pick out real quick? Like what's up?
What's in the cart? There's something in the cart already.
Because every week I end up adding something to my cart.
If your discount works.
I end up adding.
I don't want that.
Adding something to the
cart.
Like
the body massagers.
And then
like
testing.
I've never wanted that.
Yeah, you don't want a Hitachi wand.
No, I don't.
What do you want to look at? You got for her, for him, for couples.
Are there
what do you want to look at? There are clothes. There are lingerie items on adameve.com.
I got a wedding to go to. What
if I were to just click on lingerie, what do we got?
What do we have for? Oh, the 50% off. Is that with your?
So let's see here. Right now it says Lust and Lace sale up to fit. So that's a good idea. Let's hit the shop now there on their Lust and Lace sale, and I'll pick something out that I would like to see you in.
Why do they do different category? Like, why is there like a plus size, and why can't they just throw it all together? And if you're like an extra large, like
you just select your size. Right? Why can't you do that? Why that would be
is
so
there a
much
movement? I don't want to say anything bad because if there's a movement or something, where my ladies,
I don't know. It looks like it looks like they are off. It looks like they are trying to offload some of their Valentine's stuff.
I like red.
judging by the color of some of this stuff. So we get the Break Hearts top and short set.
It literally says I break hearts. I don't do words.
It's
you know
a
what I mean?
T-shirt of some sort.
I don't do words across the butt of my sweatpants. I don't do words across. Oh, $6.99 maybe.
Hold
Maybe
on.
I'll change my.
Well, hold on a second. Let me. I gotta remove last week's item.
Yeah.
And then we go down here. Have an offer code. Let's punch in adulting for the offer code. So right now we are at $35.95.
Right.
Because it's $27.96 for the item.
Okay.
Plus shipping.
Mm-hmm. That's half off.
Plus
already?
shipping is $9. So we're at $35.95 right now. If I apply adulting,
But that item is half off?
that item is already half off.
That's not worth.
I
Okay,
have-
no, it's 17.
I have now brought the item
Ooh.
by applying offer code adulting. I have now brought the item down to $17.48
Holy crap.
plus free shipping. Plus you get the romance kit and the Adam and Eve on demand 6-pack, which is you can get DVDs or you can just get them on demand on your computer. So if you go to adameve.com, you can get 50% off any one item plus free shipping, plus the romance kit, plus 6 free videos, which are fun.
50% off of 50% off.
Yes, so
Listen,
you
I'm frugal.
ended up getting 50% off, 50% off.
Wow.
Yeah, so you're getting the item, whatever item you choose.
You never talk about the
you're
lingerie.
getting- Well, I know, you're right. I have never.
I would, because you know what? Like,
Yeah.
I mean, they got some nice stuff.
To be honest, I've looked at their lingerie section before, and I
sure.
wasn't impressed.
Eagle Fang Karate.
I wasn't impressed, but looking at it again tonight, I was like, okay, yeah, this actually isn't that bad. So adameve.com, check out offer code adulting, 50% off any one item, free shipping, plus the romance kit, plus 6 free videos, which are always fun to watch with whoever your mate is, or if you're by yourself, you can do that too.
Or make your own.
Yeah. My other sponsor
I like this. I'm excited
of
about this
Adulting
for
with
you.
Donnie
Mhm.
is Raise Energy,
Raise.
RAZE. Raise Energy. It's brought to you by reppsports.com. And they have so many products. You have energy and focus products, pre-workout products, muscle building products, weight loss products, protein, like the whey protein type of thing that you can mix into milk or water or whatever you're going to do. Recovery for after your workout. A lot of these things on this website, excuse me, I will be using in about a week when I get into running again.
I like that. I'm excited for this because if any of my softball friends, you know what I mean, like they obviously sponsor people and they have apparel and everything like that, and there's so many people, you know, that would be a cool thing to see on the back of a jersey.
Yep.
Like they got a nice logo there. So
any of these products, let's see here. Let me.
how much is your discount?
I'm about to get there. Let's go to their apparel section.
All right.
We're gonna add a t-shirt into. All right, we're gonna add a small t-shirt because my mate wears a small.
Mm-hmm.
She's small.
I don't like t-shirts.
She is very tiny.
You get no, I'm not tiny. No,
You're so sexy.
you gotta make stop it. I'm gonna get mad because I don't like that. I don't like when people say stuff about my weight.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
Well, not you. Like that's fine.
So we got one item in the cart right now at $24.99. We're gonna use offer code adulting. Apply coupon. My mate her hand is.
Stop it. Stay focused.
We've brought the total down to so it removed $3.75, so it's 15% off, and then plus shipping is $7, $6.95.
You're better off shopping at Adam and Eve. I can say that.
So your total comes to $28.19 for what was a $25 shirt plus a $7 shipping is now $28.19. So reppsports.com, you can use offer code adulting, get 15% off your order, off your entire order. That's the difference between Adam and Eve and REPP Sports, is that Adam and Eve, you're getting 50% off of any one item, versus REPP Sports, you're getting 15% off of the entire order. So if you go there and spend $200, you're going to get $30 off. So
nice job, darling.
yeah, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you. Appreciate you.
I appreciate you more.
No.
So,
What else do you want to talk about? You had a
Question.
whole list.
I do have a big list, but question. Say the next time something happened and you needed money,
What would
GoFundMe or OnlyFans? How are we raising this money? What do you think? Ooh.
I would for me personally,
Mhm.
I would go GoFundMe.
All right.
I don't feel, but the thing is that I don't feel like I have anything to offer. And there's a history behind that. Like, who the fuck wants to watch a guy jerk off?
That's not. Why are you saying that? That's not the only thing that these things are about.
I get it. I hear you. I totally
How
understand
about
what you're
a
saying.
day in the life of a mail carrier?
But who wants to pay $10 a month to watch that? And it's actually kind of against postal policy to watch that.
Okay,
to do
but
that.
what if? Okay, so what if we were doing? All right, what if we needed something for an animal and we need to raise money for one of our pets?
I'm
Like, what
probably
if we
still
did
gonna.
the OnlyFans for one of our pets, but we did like
I would probably
little
still go
pictures and
GoFundMe.
videos?
And I only say that because of Facebook,
Right.
really. Because so we're on a social media topic, I guess. OnlyFans really does qualify as social media.
Right.
The difference between OnlyFans and Facebook really is just there's a subscription
Mhm.
to get to it.
Mhm.
You have to pay to play.
Right.
So with GoFundMe, I could start a GoFundMe and then post it on Facebook. And then hopefully I would have sympathetic friends who would say, "Oh, your cat needs fucking whatever," or your family's going hungry,
Right.
or you need a fucking new engine for your car or whatever. Friends and family would probably be like, "Yep, no problem. I can help you out with that. I can throw $5, $10
Right.
at you."
Right.
And that's different because it's a one-time thing. You can be like, "Look, I'll throw $5 at you, no problem." And $5 really, it's crowdfunding, so it snowballs.
Right.
It can turn into $2,000 real quick. But I don't know. The OnlyFans thing, I think that it started off. Maybe it started off with good moral intent. I don't know. I haven't watched.
Think so.
I haven't watched the documentary.
No, not even. I mean, nobody really knows about that person. But you know what? But I'm trying to think of like other things that you could use it for. So, like, what if you did have a pet that you showed, and you did it for like charity.
That's
so
a
say
good
like
idea.
so seriously, like, all right, so say you have like a certain pet or something like that, and you do it and like, hey, like I get 80%, right? 20% goes to OnlyFans, and then you take the other 80% and that strictly goes to the charity. I wonder if people would pay and like follow that, because it's like a GoFundMe thing's like a one-time deal, right? But to like raise money and have an ongoing like fundraising type of thing, other than just being on something like Instagram where you could be like, hey, you could just send money like once a week or something like that. But you had like this whole following, and that would be kind of cool.
Yeah.
You don't think? But I don't know. I think it's just one of those things.
I think that it's
I think it took off in COVID, and I'm not sure that it's going to survive it.
Definitely took off in COVID. Which it's funny you say that, because I wonder about Zoom. Will Zoom survive after?
It will. Because I think, and I think that's a business thing though, because Zoom is free, like for basic Zoom, but also like that's business, and so many people have found out that they can work remote from home, and so now many businesses are going to continue to do that.
Funny you say that.
Thank you.
I deliver to a handful of businesses in Portsmouth,
right?
Where when COVID started, I hate to get onto a COVID topic at all.
Oh, though that rolls me into one that I would love to.
Okay, that's fine.
Talk about. It started out dirty, but it's not dirty.
I love talking to you. God, you're gorgeous.
Thank you, babe.
I just noticed that.
I gotta promo my favorite.
I just noticed
shirt
those
right now. Eagle Thank Roddy.
Those hoop earrings. God,
yeah,
you're so gorgeous.
Hey, boy, hey.
I love you.
I love you.
I deliver to a handful of businesses in the town of Portsmouth that are big businesses. They employ 100, 200, 300, 400 employees, and they have these giant buildings, right?
I know.
And then COVID hits, and they're like, we can't have people in here, and send them all home. And COVID has started to subside, and it started to subside months ago. But these businesses are not bringing people back.
Right.
The only people that have been there are mailroom people, like 4 or 5 people.
Right.
And I think that a lot of these businesses that lease out buildings that cost them, cost the business thousands upon $1,000 a month.
Right.
one of the buildings I deliver to, I have to guess probably costs $20,000 a month to lease. And now the owners of the business are probably looking at the numbers and thinking, these people can work from home. We're America. We have the internet.
Right.
All of these people can work from home. And even if you say like, oh, well, we don't pay them enough to work from home because they can't afford the internet, they could say, you know what, we're going to give you a, I don't know if you'd call it a stipend or not, whatever you would call it. We're going to give you $100 a month to pay for your internet. Right. It's cheaper than paying $20,000 a month.
The company just pays for the internet and they get the login. Yes. Like, so it's not any different. You know what I mean? Like, that doesn't cost a lot. You get the business internet, and same thing at work. Like, if I went and jumped on the Wi-Fi there, it's like, depending on where it reaches or whatever. But they did a poll, and it was like, it kind of showed like how many people would go back to work if they could, or are fine working from home. And it was a majority of the people that were working from home. Yeah. So there was one thing that with COVID that you talked about, and it started out like naughty, but it was about
really, because I don't remember saying anything naughty.
Okay, so you came to visit me as one of our midday meetups, and we were talking about I don't even know if we were talking about OnlyFans page. We were talking about people like selling their underwear.
Yes, I did. It was earlier this week. So I found out this week through another podcast that there are people who are pay to play with. Jason Almy checking in on the comments says pay to play with my nuts.
We'll do that one. Oh, nobody's gonna pay for that. I don't think your wife would pay.
Jason, you gotta update that profile picture, buddy, because you look like a dork in your
nuts
profile
are everywhere,
picture.
So it's like there's no shortage of nuts. Like, why are your nuts so special?
Have you seen Jason's profile picture? Look, he looks like a fucking superhero of some sort. His chiseled jaw
nizzle
and everything.
Oh,
like,
Justin says hi.
You gotta get the long hair and the beard in there, buddy. I don't know who Justin is. Do you know who Justin is?
Yeah, he's the one that has the clothing business that you like.
Oh, yeah, duh.
Yeah. I only get to see him in person a lot at Walmart, my favorite store in the
Justin, I may have said it before, and maybe you messaged me before, but message me on Instagram so that I want to talk to you about, potentially promoting your business a little bit better. So, what was I saying?
You were saying about the people selling their panties.
Oh, yeah. So, I did not know this was a thing. I think you knew it was a thing.
I did know it was a thing, and I know that taking pictures of your feet and selling them is
so this is kind of, again, on the OnlyFans topic of these girls are, like, there's a website, and I don't know the website name.
I feel like we should paint the picture. So
I'm listening to a podcast.
We do midday meetups.
We do midday meetups every day. Every day we meet up in the middle of the day. That's why it's called a midday meetup.
Midday meetup.
There's been a handful of occasions where we can't meet up, so we do a video call. But we spend more time talking to each other than anyone I have in my entire fucking life.
It's fun. We never run out of things.
We never run out of anything to talk about. Even one day there was one day where I met up with you, and it felt like you had nothing to say, I had nothing to say, and then it was like, okay, I'm gonna go back to work. Okay, I have to go inside your building and register my snowmobile. And you were like, okay, and I went out to register my snowmobile, and then you came walking down the hallway, and you were like, it just didn't feel right. Like,
no, because we always up each other.
Yeah, so, and then we ended up talking and laughing our fucking asses off. And it was like, okay, this one was good. Like,
that was the emotional jump start that we needed for the rest of the day.
So anyways, we have midday meetup. So I meet up with you on Monday, and I was like, I had this crazy thing on a podcast earlier today where these there's a website you can go to, and I'm sorry, I don't know the website.
That's okay.
There's a website you can go to where you can say, this is what I want. I want you to wear a red thong, and I'm sorry, it's a mask. So it's a mask thing. So this is a mask thing. Oh, so you can be like, I want you to put a mask inside of your underwear. This is specifically to a woman. I want you to put a mask inside of your underwear, and I want you to go for a 3-mile jog, and then I want you to come home and fart 9 times.
I don't remember this private conversation. My God.
I know, but I've been drinking, so I'm more open.
Somebody wants your scent. Somebody wants your scent.
And then you could take that mask.
Wow.
and then you take that mask and you put it in the mail and you send it to this person.
For how much?
This particular podcast I heard, the woman said that she charges $30 per mask. So if she pays,
cheap.
if she buys the mask for $5, puts it in her crotch for fucking however long, she's not doing any extra work. She's just doing her thing.
You're like walking by people sniffing.
You're walking.
Crotch.
You're literally walking by people, and someone under that mask has a giant smile on their face because they're smelling some stranger's pussy for hours.
Why do you say that word?
I know. I wanted to say, honestly, I think pussy is better than crotch. I don't like crotch.
Oh, okay. Well,
I don't like crotch.
I guess some people don't like the B word and they like the C word.
The word crotch is like crotchety, and it sounds like there's crabs involved. And no, thank you.
It's where the mask was supposedly, but then that led me. Remember, and you told me, and I'm like, oh, how come nobody ever thought of this? I'm like, nobody ever thought of like selling scented masks. Like I haven't seen anything about scented.
So that's where we went.
That's where we went with that. So you come and tell me something gross, and I'm like, oh damn, like we're missing out.
So you could get a mask.
So like, what scent would
lavender.
you want? Lavender or like pizza.
What's your favorite scent?
I know, and I said like something weird, and I was like, we were talking about.
I'll tell you mine.
I said wet pavement.
You did say wet pavement. I love wet pavement.
I love what you do.
I do. I love.
Isn't it weird?
Freshly
laid. Gasoline sometimes.
Gasoline is good from a distance.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Like,
right
I mean,
up
you
close,
wouldn't get the fumes. Like you wouldn't get high off of it.
My favorite scent ever is jet fuel.
Ooh.
So like when the jets take off at Pease Air Force Base,
right.
Some of them will flood a neighborhood.
Right.
And that scent is, I love that smell of jet fuel.
Right. But just like, I'm thinking of like Bath and Body Works. Like,
lavender.
Lavender. You could have margarita
Christmas tree.
Smell, Christmas tree. Cinnamon.
Freshly mowed lawn.
Tacos.
Tacos is a good one.
Margaritas could sell margarita masks like with their scent. You just leave them in the kitchen.
What about Fruity Pebbles?
Oh my god. Cheetos? I'd smell cheese all day and flip out.
I might be willing to wear a mask if I had a Fruity Pebble flavor mask.
Huh. Licorice.
Licorice is okay.
I mean, for some people. Popcorn.
Black licorice.
I'm in popcorn. I want to smell like scratching stuff.
Popcorn.
Yeah, and then you could change your filter out that would have a different scent. Like, all right, everybody steal our ideas, but just be like, we heard this here. Like people that sold Neuro Decelerated. I know who you are.
Yeah. So if you remember, a little over a month ago, Ro and I did an episode together where we talked about replacing the R word with
neuros.
So there's neurotypical.
That's like, normal.
Yeah, me and you would probably be considered neurotypical. All right, maybe you.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's what's the
neurodecelerated?
No, that's our word.
Neuroridiculum.
No, that's the Harry Potter word.
No, it's neurodecelerated.
No, that's the word we came up with. Neuro something is the other word. It's the word you learned in a class.
I know, but I thought it was neuro.
It's not neuro. We replaced it so well in our own vocabulary.
Neurotypical was the one that I heard.
Neurotypical is the straight up, you're a normal person.
I'm gonna look it up.
Neuro.
I'm gonna get on the Google.
Yeah. While she looks that up, we said, well, what would be a good word to replace the R word with? And we're laying in bed. And I said neuroridiculum, and we both laughed at the same time, and we both said Harry Potter. Because it just, if you say neuroridiculum at someone, it sounds like you should be casting a spell. But then another podcast I listened to that I'm not going to name here because I asked them for a trailer and they refused to give me one.
Neurodivergent.
So neurodiverse.
We weren't doing. Yeah. Yep. That was it.
Neurodiverse.
We
So it's neurotypical, neurodiverse, and then if you want to replace in your own vocabulary the R word, you use neurodecelerated.
Right.
Or if you want to make someone R worded, you just throw your hand at them and say neuroridiculum.
Yeah, you just like it's like a wand movement. Because they're acting like an R word. They're acting neurodecelerated. Yeah, and you gotta put them in check.
Yeah. So, but I heard on another show. I've never heard the term.
Mm-mm.
Yeah, get closer.
Yeah.
I've never heard the term neurotypical before, other than out of your mouth.
And that was actually from like an old, like the training that we got was recent, but it was like 1990.
Right.
So and I don't remember this at all.
Yeah, no, I've never heard it said before. And then we have this segment on the last time that we did a show together, and all of a sudden on this podcast, I hear the word neurotypical, and I was like, come on, guys. So
Sorry, we're not threatened. We come up with new stuff all the time.
That's
Now we
right.
got scented masks.
now we got scented
Talk about
masks.
scented masks.
Uh-huh. Yep. That's probably what they're going to do.
Put your armpit smell in there.
Mm-hmm. I wouldn't be surprised if there's someone out there specifically asking for a
Neurodecelerated scented mask. What does that smell like?
for an armpit mask. They're like, I want you to tape
Put
it.
this under your armpit.
I want you to tape that under your
I
armpit.
want you to wear this deodorant.
Go for a jog.
Yeah, I want something that's not going to be like, ruin the black dress,
Uh-huh.
Tammy's got the mask. I love it.
Shark Tank.
Yes.
Here they come.
Jason Almy, you would.
Jason Almy says, I still prefer fucktard.
Is he really getting like a master's degree in that?
Fucktard is good. I like motard.
I like turd. Turd's appropriate.
There was some dork in the remake of Red Dawn who kept saying motard, and I like motard.
I don't look at remakes about Red Dawn. There's only one movie, and that's it.
I never saw the original.
Patrick Swayze.
I will say this: I never saw the original.
Keep Tammy's mask up there because we love her. Shark Tank, here we come. Something.
I didn't want to watch the remake,
Mm-hmm.
but then I saw Jeffrey Dean Morgan was in it.
I love him.
I do too, which is why I watched it.
Mm-hmm.
Wolverines.
Mm-hmm.
Chris Hemsworth is in it too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I just feel like you're Thor.
It wasn't a great movie.
You're Thor, and that's who you need to be. Okay, and just be Thor. Like you don't have any magic
same
powers.
with Chris Evans and Robert Downey Jr. You are typecast.
Yeah, that's America's ass.
Typecast into those roles now.
Yeah, that's who you like. Rachel from Friends.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. That's it. That's where you should be happy about it. Speaking of Friends, we got a little dark friend over here.
So I'll bring this up and I'll bring it up, literally up.
I'll bring it on me.
In a word, in a minute here. If you're
stuck. Watch out, people! I'm moving around.
You could be retarded. If you're,
what?
that's what.
Inappropriate. I have a friend named Brie. I'm not saying that.
Well, no, I think that he's like referencing a cheese.
Yeah, that is a cheese. They already have a word for it. It's called lactose intolerant.
Lactose neurodecelerated.
You missed it, man. We were talking about Splash, the movie Splash. Tom Bruno is on our wavelength. He's got our movies education.
I'm still waiting for the next Starfighter movie. I'm excited for that.
So what are you going to talk about?
So, for I don't know, 2 years or so, I've been buying parts here and there to build a new gun.
Can I leave you to talk about this?
Absolutely, and you can grab me a beer, please. Please and thank you.
Which one? What do you want?
Coors Light, please. Yeah, I need a water. I'm parched.
Okay. Hey.
By water, I was talking about Coors Light. So I finally pulled all the parts together to build a 300 Blackout pistol. There's a lot to go into there on the difference between a full-size AR-15 and what a pistol is, and all the different definitions that the ATF has put out, and all the bullshit. But the long and the short of it is that I built a 300 Blackout pistol the other day, so with Roe. So here's what happened, right?
I was gonna help her. Yay!
Amazing. So, all right, let me bring it up. So on her recommendation, because I told her I want to name it. I need a name, but not like a normal name. Like I'm gonna name this like I named my last two snowmobiles, Rosie and then Ruby. I wanted a name for this rifle, but I did not want like an actual name. I wanted something, cool, something, I don't know, the Destroyer or whatever. So she recommended Venom. So let me introduce you to Venom. So this is my new rifle, Venom, and completely pieced together. It's got a Palmetto State Armory upper receiver, but I am switching out the barrel on it. I already took off the flash hider that came on it, because I bought a suppressor that mounts specifically to the flash hider that I got. So, so the other night, I got the stripped lower receiver. I know that this might be boring for some of you people that aren't like gun people, but too bad. It's my fucking show. So I had a stripped lower receiver, and on Wednesday night I text Ro, and I'm on my way home, and she says, "Have fun putting together your new toy." And I said, "Do you want to wait? Do you want me to wait for you to get to me, and we can do it together instead of me just doing it by myself? And you get here, and there's a new gun." I said, "You can come here, and we'll do this whole thing together, because it's a whole process to put together a lower receiver." And she was in 100% right away. So she gets here, and I get the table all set up. I got all the pieces and parts sitting on the table. Justin just chimed in and said, "What kind of toy is it?" Let me throw it back up here on the camera. It is a 8.5-inch AR pistol. It's chambered in 300 blackout. So it's got a. So, anyways, we did the whole thing together. It was fucking awesome. We had like 2 moments that were like kind of difficult, and
we didn't have an anvil. The guy in the video had
the guy in the video had a vise.
Oh, sorry. Yeah.
He had a vise with a block to make things a little bit easier for him, and we did not have that. So, but we did still nonetheless had 2 moments that were like, they were difficult, and we figured them out and got through them, and we were both like, that was awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it was just cool to work on building this together.
It should be noted that we also built a grill together.
We did build a grill together.
Didn't fight at all.
We didn't fight at all.
We're gonna build a bathroom,
and we're gonna do a lot of building things together.
or maybe.
Certainly not the last AR that we'll build together, I'm sure. But
it was very interesting to me, like, especially being in the business. Like, I'm not a super
to see it all come together.
Right.
Like, when you look at it, it's just a stripped lower, and you're like, okay, that's like, what is that? It doesn't look like a gun, because it's not. It's essentially just a thing that you can throw at people. And then to see all of the pieces and parts come together into one thing, and then to make this beautiful gun. It's got the SB Tactical PDW brace on it. I put a Stark Enterprises
cool.
Or Stark Equipment pistol grip on it, with a mag pull single point sling. There's pieces and parts that are on it right now that I'm going to be upgrading. Like I said, the barrel. Oops.
No, it's right here.
There we go.
Yep.
The barrel, I think I'm going to be changing out tomorrow. Justin, I have not taken it to the range yet. Honestly, I built a gun that I don't have ammo for.
He's waiting for it.
Yeah, I built a gun that I don't have ammo for.
There's not a lot of ammo going around.
There's not a lot of
now.
ammo out there, but I do have ammo on the way. Ammo is ordered, so once the ammo shows up, I'll go to the range with it.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm going to change out the barrel maybe tomorrow. I want to change out the trigger to a different trigger. It's got a Swamp Fox Optics 1X optic on top of it. And then there's other things I want to add. Like, I'd like to put a flashlight on it. The trigger is probably going to be like a Geisley, or maybe a Hyperfire, something like that. Something like with a really light trigger pull that I can just kind of bump fire. So
I thought it was cool. Like what I was saying before about, like, I'm in a profession around firearms, and it's like, I feel like sometimes I don't know as much about them. I mean,
well, there's
and I've never built something
right.
from, skeleton before.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, I've taken them in the military and the army. Like, you have to take your weapon apart to a point, and obviously you have to be able to clean your pistol and your duty weapon and things to a point. But I've never, like, put one together from, like, scratch with you. So it was cool. Like,
it was very
really
cool.
fun.
It was a lot of fun, and I mean, there's so much fun to build. This is probably I haven't looked in the safe recently, but this is probably my 4th or 5th AR. And all of my ARs I've just built from scratch. And I mean, that's kind of I only have 2 fucking hands.
Mm-hmm.
Like, do I need 5 ARs? No. But the thing is that you can buy them piece by piece, and just, you spend a little bit of money. You look at your bank account and say, oh, I got an extra $50 this week. I can buy a trigger.
Right.
I can, and I have so many spare parts at this point that I can practically build another AR just out of my spare parts.
Mm-hmm.
So
Jason's using those big.
he's using some really big words. He
Those
said, "Oh,
big-
great, another heteronormative, cisgendered white male with almost as much firepower as white privilege. Look out, local massage spas. Look, all right, I'm not racist, so I
I
won't
should
be.
hope not.
No, I'm not.
Half of me's leaving. If that's the case. White privilege, man, that's a topic that we're not going to get into, but I wouldn't go throwing that around. It's very serious.
What
Hmm.
else you got? What else you got on your list?
What did I have on here? Honestly,
Firstly, how much, before we move on, how much fun did you have building the AR?
I had fun. I did have fun with you. And it was funny because I was not expecting it I thought you were like, oh, it's going to be like 45 minutes. Then we ran into a couple snafus, but we're just both good at communicating. And, I think there's one little point where I'm like, well, just let me try. And you're so good about it where you're like, okay, you go ahead and try. And then there's something like in the video that we're trying to do it that way. It's not going to happen. And then we just made it happen. So it's like, we're a great team anyway. We know that.
I'm definitely looking forward to getting it out on the range. I think I talked about it on my show last week.
Did you talk about what you named it?
So I did talk about that. So
it was a perfect name.
I think I said, I know that I said I asked you, or I talked about I didn't want to name it like Ruby or Rosie. I wanted to give it some sort of cool, not a real name type of thing. So its name is Venom. Yeah. And I might Cerakote it and have Venom written on it or something like that.
I like it.
Yeah. Let's see here. I use big words because I'm neuro accelerated. Oh, okay.
Oh, snap.
Oh, okay.
Get it.
Okay, Jason.
Okay, Jay.
Jason, I sent Jason a fucking link to be on the show, and instead he was like, "Fuck you, I'm commenting only."
He's so cute, he can't help it.
Yeah. I bought a suppressor for it. I talked about it last week. Bought a suppressor for it, and the cool thing is that when I do go shoot it, I'll probably go to that place where I bought the suppressor, and I can use the suppressor on it. So the whole point.
Did you talk about it, White Birch?
I did talk about it last week.
They have a beautiful
facility. I talked about it last week, and
super nice help and a lot of classes, and
the whole reason that I wanted to build a 300 blackout pistol with a suppressor is because it's so quiet. So I'm very excited to get it out on the range and just see how quiet it is. And
it's good though. I like that because I do the active shooter trainings, and to listen to you show me a YouTube video, and it's the sound of what a suppressor does to it, because people are listening for gunshots and stuff too. So it's kind of interesting to be able to build something and have that knowledge about it, and then be able to go and do trainings and talk about that aspect, because there's so many questions about guns, and not to get into politics, because I'm not, getting to pro this or pro that, but there's a certain responsibility that comes with things. But you should know your weapon inside and out and what it's capable of doing, and the fact that you built it yourself, I think, has more confidence in it, than a product that you bought from somewhere.
Right.
It's
there's a point of pride to be able to have
accomplishment.
Like I said, this is not the first one that I've built, and to look in my safe and be like, oh yeah, I remember the night that I put that one together. I remember how excited I was to do that one, and I remember loving that one, and just I don't know. It means
I built my little dragons that my nephew gave me from Game of Thrones. I got all 3 of them.
It means more to have something that you put together yourself.
Or as a team.
Yes.
We have a memory now. Venom, thank you for that.
Yes.
I only have 2 more things.
All right, what do you got?
All right, so I have...
Which is good, because Jason's not showing up tonight. He says, I'm working on a paper.
Y'all distracting me up in here. It's going to get more distracting.
Me and Jason one day are going to do a cigar bar episode. One day.
Well, I guess maybe I have 3 things, but not really.
What do you got?
Therapy, dolls, and pets. Social media pet peeves.
You want to talk about the therapy dolls?
And I just love, I don't know if you've seen the Progressive commercials where it's you're becoming your parents. I saw a new one today, and I was just
I've seen the new one.
Oh, the new one's really good because somebody has a house, you go into homes and my home probably, but it has something that says live and love and learn. And then and he's like, do we have to have this in the house? And it's like, no, I mean, yes. And he just takes it and throws it in the trash. Like, no, we don't. Like, we don't. And then he has somebody sit down in the chair, and the guy's like, oh, and he sits down. He's like, did everybody hear that? I love that guy.
One of my favorites is there's a guy wearing like khakis, and he's got them like pulled up pretty high, and like the jacket, like the spring jacket type of thing.
Yeah, members only.
And he's in like a Home Depot type, and he's talking to someone. He's like, "What you want to do is you want to use grout on this thing," and then the guy comes out of the side, and he's like, "He didn't ask for your help. They have people that work here.
That's right.
They have people that work here to do that. Come on."
He's like, "Do we need this many pillows?" And she's like, "Yeah." He's like, "No, we don't." No, we don't.
And the same guy is like he's like, "Come on." He's like backing someone out of their spot. They don't need your help.
He doesn't need your help. Nope. You hired him. You hired him.
I love those.
Oh, that's brilliant. But yeah, no, because we were downtown for one of our little meetups. What happened?
Jason said next weekend for a cigar bar.
I want to talk to Christine. I'm done talking to you.
I'm done with this paper on Tuesday.
I don't believe you. I want to talk to your wife, and that's who solidifies the schedule. So everybody knows that.
Jason, you chat with me. Next Sunday is Easter, so
thank karate.
Maybe Saturday. If you, in fact, I'm calling it right now on my show. If Jason can do next Saturday, I will do next Saturday. Because I'm only working until 4:00 next Saturday.
Go for it.
So, Jason, if you can do next Saturday, we'll do next Saturday. And this time, I don't have an ex-girlfriend who's gonna drop me off and then go smoke weed. What?
It's in your system for 30 days. Don't do it. So yeah, therapy dolls and therapy pet dolls.
Do I talk about what we encountered the other day?
I can talk about it. So, let me see. I go to meet you.
How to put this as gently as possible.
No, it's not even. It's a thing. You know what I mean? It's a thing. But I think we were just, it's like something that kind of caught us off guard a little bit, and I think it's very interesting concept. And so Donnie and I, we meet up. We do our midday meetup, and I'm obviously in uniform as an officer, and I do community outreach anyway. So it's like 2 birds, 1 stone. So it's great. And only for a certain, what would be my lunchtime. And then you're in your uniform. So I come walking down, just kind of like a road where you're parked. Yeah, kind of like a big alleyway where you're parked. And I see somebody that I know is a friend, and she is wearing a baby carrier, and not somebody that I know to have had a baby. And so I kind of walk up and just say, "Hi, how's it going?" And, and she's like, "Oh," and I said, "Do you have a baby or a dog?" I'm not sure, because some people have those carriers. And she's like, "Well, it's my baby." And so I look, and it's a doll, but it looks real. And not only does it look real, but it smells real. It smelled like a real baby. And so and then she explains to me that she's, experienced trauma, and this was something that was kind of recommended. And so she had ordered it. And I guess I think it cost $125, but also his twin's going to be coming or something along those lines. And I have read, and also working with seniors. And so to me, in those moments, and just for anybody else, because I think, and not joking or being insensitive or anything like that, I think these things you may see that, and it may happen. Like I said, we didn't have a heads up. And so, in that moment, how do I approach this? And immediately, because I have been a little bit educated about it, I went right to your son's beautiful. I'm so happy to meet him. You know what I mean? And you treat it as if it is real, So, and just something to kind of keep in mind. But the articles that I read were things like that with babies, and also with there's they make certain pets that cats that will purr, for seniors, because certain places you can't have pets, and you certainly can't have babies. But they found that with seniors, mostly the article that I read was more about keeping somebody that they want to live another day because they have something to care for, and it was just some sort of kind of that responsibility, or that kind of attachment to an inanimate object that looks very real. And then also with the pets, like there's some that purr and things like that, but you don't have to worry about obviously taking them out or not having them go to the bathroom and things. So, and I think we handled it like pretty cool, and I was glad for the experience.
So, since you brought it up, longtime listeners of Adulting with Donnie will see the difference between
my perception and yours.
No, between pre-row and post-row. Because pre-row Donnie would have throttled this whole thing. I would have been like, this is a bunch of bullshit.
Oh yeah, I would have been all over you.
I would have been.
Pre-row Donnie, I get it. I thought you were talking about pre-me. I'm like, I'm pretty much the same person. So
pre-row Donnie would have would have seen this, got on the show, and throttled it. Post-row Donnie is much more
woke,
reserved.
You're much more woke.
Much more reserved in everything that I say. I will reserve a lot of my comments and my thoughts. I will keep them locked inside this steel trap because I have a different opinion.
You're entitled to your opinion.
I am, but I'm not willing to voice that opinion.
I also think too, like we kind of talked about it the other day, where I feel like, because of my profession, I thank it for that, and I have very, very various friends, you know what I mean? I know so many people too, and I like that. Like I love knowing people, and I love knowing, and I'm seriously compassionate and curious about other people's lives. Like I think it's like, even like watching that documentary about OnlyFans. Like I'm like, wow, I'm so curious. Like, how do other people make money? Why did they get into it? Like, I like to know the backstory, and I do know the backstory of this person and why this may be something that was, helpful for her. You know what I mean? And I think that's another reason why I wasn't really taken back. But I learned to kind of go with the flow, and I think too, it's just like we have our own way and our own way of doing things. We have our little lifestyles, and we're not so much outside the box. And if you're not in a certain profession like the one that I am in, you're not going to be forced outside your box, and you're not going to be forced to educate yourself about things that you're not comfortable, or you would just not consider, you know what I mean? Because you don't have to. And that's one of the things I love about, I'd like to think that I'd be that person anyway. But I wouldn't. I'd be in my own little world if I wasn't forced outside of it.
So, kind of taking your side here.
I don't know that there's a side.
I would define it as a side. Kind of taking your side here, I would throw out a timeline for you.
Right.
So, for me as a child, there were two types of working dogs. There was law enforcement canines, and there was seeing eye dogs.
Right.
And that was it.
Right.
But then as time progressed, you see therapy dogs. Eventually you end up seeing therapy dogs. So
not only therapy dogs, bomb sniffing dogs. They have dogs.
Hold on. Bomb sniffing dogs still falls under law enforcement canine.
Right. But I just want to throw in like another one is computer equipment sniffing dogs and cancer
still
sniffing dogs, diabetic dogs,
earthquake dogs.
Yeah, that see things.
I
hate it when you
don't
say
see
side.
things.
Well, they sense things.
Yeah.
Thank you for correcting me.
Yeah.
I learned that in Forensic Child Interview.
I am only saying that as a child, in my adolescence, there were two types of working dogs. There was law enforcement canine, and there was seeing eye dogs to help a blind person work their way around a city or wherever they may be.
Right.
Then there's therapy dogs, which I don't think I ever thought of therapy. I guess, therapy dog, I thought, yep, that makes sense. When I started seeing like, this is my therapy canary, then I was like, all right, this is bullshit. When someone tried to get on a plane, this is a true story. When someone tried to get on a plane with a fucking donkey, because they were like, it's my therapy animal. Like that, I thought was all right. That's a bunch of bullshit, but it's widely accepted. So I think that even though I might look at someone carrying around a toy right now and saying it's my fucking therapy child or whatever, however they describe it, even though I might look at it and be like, that's nonsense. In 5 years or 10 years, that's probably going to be very much more commonplace,
Right.
and seeing that, and because there's all sorts of therapy, fucking whatever. There's people that carry a fucking blanket, and it's like, this is my thing.
They sell weighted blankets now, right, to make people like comfortable, but also like I would look, and I immediately kind of look at history too. So you say when you were young, growing up, like, you know, you only had 2 types of dogs, right? But think about in high school when they did have people take home like little
Right,
to teach them responsibility about like parenting and stuff.
Yeah.
So it's not necessarily like an like out of anywhere concept. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like that was also like used.
I don't think it's out. I don't think it's coming
tool.
out of nowhere. I
No.
think that it's. It seems to be. It does seem to be like the way the timeline progresses.
Right.
It seems to make the most sense, and you know, because I guess a therapy anything could be.
It does. It gets tricky, and it's also like it's not any different than saying like, all right, I'm not wearing a mask for medical condition. You can't ask.
Mhm.
So it's like same thing with like a therapy animal.
I will be honest,
you know, to be like,
the other day
that's
when
my
this-
therapy animal, and
When this happened,
You know.
I thought she had a real baby.
I did too.
I thought that I obviously did not know this person.
Yeah, and she may be watching, but
And
I did too. I thought, and
I thought
it took
that
me,
she-
and I stepped back, and then I had to ask.
and it's not even
Mhm.
because I couldn't see really inside of her carrier.
You used to saw how I reacted.
No, I saw how she was acting.
Okay.
I saw how this person was.
Well, I think it's
Being-
interesting to hear it from your point of view because I was over there talking to her, and I have no idea. Like
I
what
saw
you saw her.
how this person was acting.
Right.
She was very protective, like
Right.
you would expect a new mother to be of a
Right.
newborn, or maybe even I thought she was a grandmother and she was
Right.
carrying a grandchild.
Right.
That's what I thought.
Right.
So to see, like, that's what I thought. So that's what made me think it was a real baby inside of this carrier
Right.
was the way that she was acting. She was very cautious. She was very like, please don't talk too loud.
Right.
She was whispering as if there was a sleeping baby inside of her carrier.
Right.
So, hey, you know what? If it keeps her from fucking shooting up a mall, then
That's a jump. Well, that escalated quickly. Have you ever seen Lars and the Real Girl? That movie.
no. I
So
don't even know
Ryan
what that is.
Gosling, I think it's Ryan. Yeah, Ryan Gosling. But what's Tammy saying? My son carries a plushie. Yeah, exactly. And people they have all kinds of things.
I
like
think
teddy
I just
bears.
talked about yesterday
Yeah.
on the Weekly Bazaar. You know, they asked me what my like first
Spirit animal.
childhood animal was,
Yeah, your brownie.
or first childhood toy, or something like
Mhm.
that. And it was a teddy bear named Brownie that I
Mhm.
slept with every night until I was like 15,
Mhm.
and I'm not exaggerating.
No. You know, so I think you kind of revert back to that. Then what is convenient and what can you do like during this day and age? You know what I mean? Not everybody can have a pet. Like, so what do you do? What do you connect with? You know what I
Right.
mean? And if it gives you something to care about so it gets you through a day, I don't care.
It can get. I don't think that in the last 20 something years, I don't think I've ever had to live 100% alone. And by
Mhm.
that, I mean, like,
Mm-hmm.
I haven't had a pet. Like, I've had significant others, but when I didn't have a significant other, I at least still had a pet.
Right.
Right. So I can only imagine. I imagine it would make you a little, I don't want to say crazy is not the right word, but, you know, secluded, detached to, if your every day is to get out of work, unless you're that type of person, because those people exist, but to get out of work and you go home and there's no one there, there's
Right.
no person to talk to, there's no pet to rely on. You and I have had to spend a night away from each other in the last 3 months. We've probably spent 2 or 3 nights away from each other. And if I didn't have the video call with you, if I didn't have Graphite here to keep me company, I would fucking lose my fucking mind.
Aw.
In a couple nights, I think I'd be like, I am so,
Like,
I
need
just-
my mate.
I
need
just
my
want
mate.
some sort of connection with
Right.
someone. And, you know, like
With someone.
your
Excuse
coworkers
me.
with someone. Yeah. If you weren't like, I'm
Oh,
sorry.
sorry.
What I mean is if I was single, if I was single, all right. So what happened here was Ro accidentally kicked the wire for the microphone and unplugged us. So it took us a minute to get everything hooked back up, but we did. So for like the next 30 seconds or so, you get to hear my voice, and you know, I hope you guys are enjoying the show so far. I love it when Ro joins me. I also love to go, at these things by myself. So it's nice to have her on once in a while. And I hope you guys enjoyed Tom. And make sure you check out his show. And we're almost done here. Okay, here it comes. We're back. There we go. Sorry.
I did sign language earlier to try and help.
Rose stepped on the microphone.
That's what I do. I just cut it. Cut the mic. It's almost time to cut it. It's like almost 10:30.
Yeah, it is almost 10:30.
Yeah.
We've been doing this for 2.5 hours.
The only other thing I had was we shouldn't do it.
What?
Social media pet peeves.
Is that like boundaries?
Social media pet peeves? No, it's like when somebody has a birthday and you write a comment and you say happy birthday.
Oh,
and people
why would we not do this?
People hijack your post.
Why
and
would
then
we not do this?
In the comments of you telling somebody happy birthday, unless they're not friends with them, they get in your comments and say happy birthday. Or like maybe you have more followers or friends or something they do, and you have a post, and then they get all up in your posts and comments and try and hijack your post with some crazy comment.
Yeah.
And now it's just run amok.
Yeah.
Like, have some damn etiquette. Have some damn boundaries. Darn boundaries.
Yeah. Like,
It's very frustrating.
the happy birthday one is the best example.
I feel like that's lazy.
Or if someone dies and someone else writes a post like, "Hey, I'm sorry," blah blah blah, and then someone else jumps in on the comment.
Me too.
Yeah. Me
Hashtag,
too. Yeah.
Get out of here. Beat it. You can take the time to type something out, for Christ's sake. Sorry, look. Oh my God, I gotta stop saying that.
Let me check my own fucking notes and just make sure that I didn't have anything on my note. I know that we covered the grocery store shopping thing. Let's see here. Oh yeah, there it is. Yeah, no, there's the cashier's thing.
Yeah, that was frustrating. Give me back my protein shake and stop it. Stop molesting my protein shake.
The only other thing that I had was a fucking poor ass driver, and actually it happened twice.
Oh yeah, yeah.
The other day, I'm driving in Portsmouth, and it changes from one lane into 2 lanes. Or I'm sorry, it changes from 2 lanes into 1 lane rather. Changed from 2 lanes into 1 lane. And I'm in the left-hand lane, which is eventually going to turn into a left-hand turn only. And this car starts crowding me in. And I'm sorry, what this car did was they jumped into the left lane, which is going to turn into a left turn.
Are you working?
I was driving to your place.
Oh.
They jumped into the left lane, which is going to turn, and they're from Maine. Like, their license plate is from Maine.
Right.
So they probably know this lane's, but they jumped into the left lane to pass an 18-wheeler, which wasn't even going slow. It's not like this truck just pulled out of a stop. It's just traveling along. This person jumps into my lane, now blocks me so I can't get to the fucking light. And I'm looking at their car, and I was like, I bet I know the type of person that's behind the wheel of this car.
That is a fun game to like drive up and then like take a
guess at who it is. Yeah.
And see, do you look like how I think you look?
I was 100% right. This person was an old person from Maine by themselves in the car.
Can't get there from here.
In the car, wearing a mask, and had all of their windows open.
Dear goodness.
All the windows were open in this car. And I just I drove by looking at them, expecting to see like a dog behind the steering wheel. And then
sorry.
And then on Thursday,
sorry, honey.
On Thursday, I had the day off, so I drove up to Rangeley to get my snowmobile.
Right.
And driving back down from Rangeley happened again. Someone in the I'm in the left-hand lane. Someone in the right-hand lane almost steers into me to pass someone again. And I hit the horn real quick, and they get back in their lane. And as I pass them, I look over, and sure enough, it's another person in the car by themselves wearing a mask.
You know, it's like they don't want to breathe on themselves.
I don't get it. Did you
give them the business? You gave them the horn, huh? You gave them a little...
No. Both of them, what I do is I drive by, and I just... I look at them with a look of like...
disgust.
What? What are you doing?
Somebody did a parking lot move on me today. I wasn't working, or I would have got them for that. It's illegal, actually, but they were
What's that mean?
trying to weave through traffic, and then to avoid the red light where you can go right on red, they cut through the parking lot.
Yeah.
I was like, I'm gonna send you a letter.
I saw a cool one once where there was,
which I never do. I always get so excited when I'm off duty. I'm like,
too.
I'm gonna write down your plate, and then I'm gonna call you, and it just doesn't.
When I was a police officer, I was driving to work one day, and in the town that I worked in, I saw someone pass on a double yellow line.
Mm-hmm.
So then I, in my personal car, also passed on a double yellow line to catch up to them and get their license plate, so I could write them a ticket later.
Oh God! What?
And then I got to the PD and I was like, "Yeah, I'm not actually gonna do that."
Yeah, and you can't do that. Okay, you can't do that.
You could in the town I worked in. They were
okay.
like,
well, you should not have ever been able to do that.
They were like, "You're a police officer and you witnessed a crime. Doesn't matter if you're on duty or not."
Violations like none. Okay. Can we get a pizza?
Can we eat a pizza?
Can we get a pizza?
We can get a pizza.
Right.
We're
out of here.
We can.
We love you guys. Bye.
Yeah, we do love you guys, and thank you again for listening. Thank you, Tom, from the USUK network. You can find him USUK.
You suck.
If you search USUK in any podcasting app, then you'll be able to find his network. His show that he does is
2 pizzas.
What's the difference? What do you want?
I want the pepperoni, mushroom, green pepper, and you want a Hawaiian large.
A large Hawaiian.
Yeah. Are you gonna order on the show?
Yeah. I'm gonna order right now.
Nobody delivers.
If they answer,
nobody delivers here.
It's not looking promising.
It's my favorite.
They're even gonna answer.
It's only 10:30.
I know, and they close at 11. What they're doing right now is they're like,
don't call.
It's 10:30.
They don't know. They don't know that they're gonna be.
They're like, it's 10:30 at night.
They're gonna be OnlyFans.
They're like, it's 10:30 at night. I don't want to answer the phone and make a pizza.
All right, I'm gonna call too. At the same time. Oh, it's you. Oh, I'm trying to.
All right, guys. Thank you again for listening. Check out, use offer code adulting at adameve.com.
Hold on.
Offer code adulting.
Hash brown, Eagle Fang Karate.
Offer code adulting, reppsports.com. Thank you, Ro, for joining me.
Yes, dear.
I love you, mate.
Can I spend the night?
Yes, you can
sleep over?
Yeah, you can sleep over.
Cool.
All right. Bye, guys.
Bye.